you know, some people know that I've been on Joe Rogan's podcast, right?
Yeah.
And that happened. It was a blessing and a curse at the same time. I was fired from both of my therapist jobs within an hour of getting off that podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
Where does that battle come from? I mean, obviously you look at yourself a lot more than it seems like most people do.
Probably too much introspection.
Too much introspective leading to your own anxiety.
Yeah.
Shit, dude, that's heavy.
You know, like, this don't happen to me, man. Like, I know this stuff. Like, I know what's happening. I experience it, right?
Wow.
I wanted to be brain cancer so badly.
You wanted a reason?
Fuck yeah. This can't be anxiety.
If I go 2 weeks without being in the ocean, my body feels weird.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm weird like that with the ocean, man. I think.
It's the knowledge shit that starts fucking with me, right? Because I love being in the salt water. That's where I love to be. Yeah. Well, the sodium response in your body's response to the sodium is like a better Epsom salt bath.
An Epsom salt bath.
So be careful with knowledge. It doesn't always make it better.
Right.
You know, hey, what's going on today, guys? And thanks for checking out this episode of the SaltyFresh Perspective podcast. My guest today is former mental health practitioner turned into comedian, author, CEO, and all-around cool guy to meet and talk to. Please give it up for Adam Lowery.
Sweet. Ready to roll?
Yeah, brother.
Awesome. All right. Well, this feels far away, but we'll make this work.
It does.
It feels a little far away. Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, sitting here today, episode 5 now of the podcast. This is exciting one. I'm going to try to go through what it is that you do here real fast on the intro, if that's all right.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here, Adam Lowery, CEO, comedian, author, former drug dealer. You know, it seems like we'll start right there. You know, It seems like you do so many things, man. And then I heard you in an interview once say that you don't like to tell people what you do, or you don't like to ask people what you do. So I kind of like to ask people who you are.
Okay.
You know, I think it's a little bit different. So for people that don't know you, who are you, man?
Yeah, that question too, I think, can be vague asked in its own way, right? Half of my book, not half of my book, I write in my book about the dangers of actually saying who you are. There's dangers there, right? You hear a lot of talk, right, about people saying, you know, be your authentic self, right?
Yeah.
But I like to pose the question to people: if we know that change is constant, if we know that we are in a constant state of change, how could you ever be an authentic you? Or are we just saying this is who I am for now?
Currently.
Right.
Yeah.
But to say be authentic, right? I think it sounds good.
Yeah.
Right? Things sound good. It looks good on a meme or something, right?
Sure.
Yeah, be authentic. And if we are truly authentic at every moment of our life, I mean, how many people would we have hurt? Right? How many bad words we would have said to people, right? So, I mean, the authentic self, or who we are, I think, is in that constant state of change, right? So to be somebody or who we are, or to define ourselves by something so concrete, can be dangerous, I think.
Sure. Just defining yourself as something, you know, you can go back in your past. You know, we were talking a little bit beforehand. We didn't want to do that, but there's a lot of change in your own individual life. So maybe I'll have to think of how I rephrase that question in the beginning. I like that, man, because you're right. Who you are today is going to be different than who you are 5 years from now.
Yeah, and some people, man, you know, they're stuck in the past of who they are, right? Or what they experienced. I am an abused child, right? I am a rape victim. I am an alcoholic, right? We define ourselves by the things that we experience, but we aren't that, right? That was my main battle when I took on the addiction world, was that very issue, was defining people by what they're affected by, and then defining themselves by it. You know, for I am an addict, right? This to me made no sense as a mental health practitioner. You know, sort of the AA standard, if you will, the NA standard, right? I am an alcoholic, that kind of thing. You know, I don't want to get down that road. I guess I could beat that road up for a while.
That probably goes against what they teach a little bit. I mean, that mindset, is that opposite of what they're trying to teach?
Yeah. I mean, to define yourselves, I mean, one, addiction is you're being affected by addiction. We don't say I am headache. Right. I have a headache. Right. So I'm experiencing a headache, and I can get through that headache. To go back to who you are, to define myself by being that addict, well, that's going to be you. Then I'm always going to be that addict, right? I can't have one beer, because when I do, it's off to the rails, right? It's off to the races.
So almost that puts them in a box right away. And isn't that, I've never been to an AA meeting, but isn't that how they started? I'm so-and-so, I'm an alcoholic, and everybody gives a round of applause. So they're automatically putting them in this box to start.
It's socially reinforced.
Interesting.
So when you socially reinforce something that is a negative belief about yourself, my God.
That's got to be hard to get away from.
Yeah, it is. That's why you're an AA and an A for life.
Okay. Oh, you're in there for life.
But in the same sense, right, they tell you that relapse is a part of recovery. So you're already giving the permission to do it again.
Interesting.
Because you're an addict, you're going to do it anyway, right? But stick with the steps and you won't. Right. This became my major issue. And I mean, I don't want to get too far down the road without saying I'm a fan of whatever works for you. Right. If somersaults work for you and your life is better, then do that.
Do them.
Yeah. If AA and NA works for you, do that. You know, whatever's making your life better, do that and keep doing that. But I had to start to point out the flaws of this because in the addiction treatment, when I was in it, 98% of the recovery that people are on is an AA or NA based model. Dude, I didn't have one class getting my degree in mental health therapy or clinical therapy on AA. Not even a semester. Not a class, not a chapter. Why?
Yeah.
Because there's no clinical evidence behind it whatsoever.
Really?
None. There's no clinical evidence. It's not a scientific approach whatsoever.
Is it about making money or?
I think it's an old tool that has worked for people.
Okay.
People have found other ways to do it. There's a lot of reasons it keeps going. You know, but for me, I started thinking about, you know, it generally helps on average about 2% of the population that's affected by addiction. And I started thinking, that's a lot of people. You've been doing it since 19 whatever. Yeah. That's millions of people it helps. That's great. What about the 98? What about the 95% of people? That keep relapsing, right? That it doesn't work for. Why are we missing them? What is happening here? What is the deal? That's sort of why I started speaking out against mental health treatment in itself, the system itself, addiction treatment itself, even mental health itself. Yeah. You know, if you ever broke your arm or something like that?
I've been real fortunate.
All right, Sorry about that.
No broken bones. It was some crazy stuff, but no broken bones. But,
right. But if you do, right, you go get an X-ray.
Yeah.
I'll show you the broken bone. There it is. Boom.
Easy to see. Easy to identify.
Not one test, not one blood test, not one brain scan, not one anything can show you a mental health disorder. Not depression, not anxiety. I can't measure your serotonin levels. I can't give you a brain scan and go, yep, there's bipolar, right? You can't do that. Yeah. The closest they are to it right now, I think, is ADHD on brain imaging.
Okay.
That's the closest, but even that. And what most people forget is that mental health disorders, separate from a medical disorder, say a broken arm, are theoretical. They're all theoretical. The broken arm's not theoretical. No. You see it. Yeah. Mental health is theoretical, and it's patient report. The patient is telling you what they're experiencing. You are then taking that, grouping symptoms of experience together, and put a label on it and call it something.
This was a big reason why I wanted to talk to you, man, is because I'm on this sort of path to understanding the mind as much as possible. And I try to do that through other people. I think that's a good way to have conversations. But what led you down that road, man? You have a master's in clinical health, right?
Mental health.
What mental health? What led you down that road? I mean, just listening to you talk about it now is clearly a passion of yours, but what led you that way? How did you get to that point?
I would say like most, that'd be irrational. I'd say like some mental health practitioners, I think we start out in the field looking for answers for ourselves or experiences. My childhood, although on the outside may appear to be a certain way, was quite abusive. My home was really abusive. My father was pretty intense, and I wanted to know why he was that way. He didn't drink. Was not an alcoholic. He drank, but he was not an alcoholic. He was not a drug user. He provided for his family. Did those things, right? So I don't want to knock him too much, right? I had food, I had a roof, right? I mean, I learned to fish from him.
Could
right?
have been worse, right?
Oh, yeah.
Could have been worse.
Oh, way worse.
Yeah.
You know, he taught me how to fish, right? Showed me some good, classic rock music, right?
Nice.
Those are about it. That's about the things that's finding the silver lining in it. But I lived in a constant state of fear. There's a constant state of raised cortisol levels. It was an issue, and my mom was terrible. She was treated terrible in it. My mom was a champion through the whole thing. But I think as it early started, I came out of that life. I was supposed to be an NFL football player. That was it. That's all I was going to be. Play college football, just do that. And I got to college, played a couple years. Injury took me out of that. I played some semi-pro for a little bit with their little team called the Orlando Rage. Where
Oh,
they pay
yeah.
they pay you $50 a game, right?
Okay, yeah.
Right, and very short stint with them, man. And my hamstring kept acting up, but I just didn't want to do it anymore. I walked from that, but after walking from that, I was just kind of lost. I'm like, I don't, and left field, that's sort of the third book I'm working on is Athlete's Depression. But I kind of walked from that mindless, like, what do I do? Yeah. But chasing that high. I wanted that high of Friday Night Lights, Saturday playing. How do you get that, right? And I was broke. I was broke. I had nothing. Yeah. So that's when I started selling. I started selling drugs. I was robbing drug dealers. Like, I didn't care. Huh. I went down some crazy suicidal mission. Yeah. That's a whole another story to be told. But
you're chasing the high that you had as a kid playing football, though. Or what you gained, was it escape from was football an escape from your parents in childhood a little bit? So that was your outlet almost, huh? And then you just were chasing that as you got older and didn't go pro, had some other opportunities, but you found yourself chasing that for a while?
Yeah. And then come to find out, I learned later what I was chasing was the state of being as a child. I was in the high, it's called hypervigilance. So I'm in the state of hypervigilance my entire childhood. Football just played into that perfectly, and I could use that tool of hypervigilant constantly. Okay. It became the outlet. It became the distraction, right? And so that state of hypervigilance is something I needed to stay in, because without that, I got depressed, I got suicidal, I got crazy. And so how do you do that? Get shot at, right? Right? Rob a drug dealer, right? I mean, drive from here to the Keys with a couple keys of Coke. You know what I mean? Do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And 6 hours in the car from the Keys, and you got 10 bricks in the trunk, and you're like, whew. Not me. I'm like, it's good, man. I'm calm and easy peasy in a place, man. Really? I felt calmness in those situations. Huh. And so, I mean, that led to a nightclub life and a transition, I tell this story in my book, actually, is, of course, the drug dealing life turns into the nightclub business, right? And I'd stopped doing anything illegal, moved to the clubs, and was legally making money and doing some good things, and was doing that I was probably the longest career of my life. I was 10 years in that career.
Okay.
And one night, I was at the club. It was probably like 1:30 in the morning, something like that. Somebody accidentally turned the lights on. That's not a scene you really want to see. I went... Can we curse on here? What the fuck are we doing here? I'm like, what the fuck are we doing, man? I just looked at a bunch of human beings and with the lights on, and then in my mind, I removed the music. I removed the alcohol. What are we doing? Just a bunch of monkeys humping on each other. And I'm like, what is this, man? And I'm not a religious person, but I thought, my thought was, I've become the best at selling Babylon here, man. Like escapes. And I was just like, something's got to change. I went home that night. That's the story I write in the book. Went home that night, and for, 16, 17, 18 hours, man, I went through it in my living room, man. I prayed, I cried, screamed, you know what I mean? I wrote like a madman, trying to just figure out what am I doing? What is this? What am I chasing? What is it all? Within a given week, I walked away from all of the club businesses I was in, gave away my nice clothes, just all of it, just done.
Started over completely, or?
I went on what I call a walkabout, right? I was taking labor jobs in the Keys, like just a labor. I was sleeping on linoleum floor with like 4 other people. Okay. Getting up at 5 a.m, digging holes in limestone, right? I wanted nothing to do with like velvet ropes and cocaine talk and money and... Oh, man, one of the most annoying things is a guy on cocaine in a club telling you all his business ideas. Let me tell you. Oh, my God. It's terrible.
There's a mile a minute with stuff, or I've never done cocaine, man. That's something I've never tried.
I don't recommend it.
I've never had the desire.
Yeah, I don't recommend it. If you've never done it, I guess experience it. Experience it. But good luck finding good shit. Yeah. Good luck. You know, and it's not this crazy addictive substance like they taught you. Once you hit it, it's over. You know what I mean? You're all down. It's not the '80s drug propaganda like they sold us back then. It's not like that. I mean, Dr. Carl Hart's a great reference for that.
Yeah, I caught your interview with him. He was on Rogan recently. That was the first I ever heard of him. And then I saw you actually talk to him. Yeah. That guy was talking about, here's a doctor that writes, what my perception of him is, he's a doctor that the doctors learn from. Yep. Is that kind of an accurate way to look at him?
He was in court and said that. He was testifying in Congress, and one of the senators, somebody talking to him, tried to bring him down. Yeah. Like, well, who are you? You're not. And he mentions doctor. He goes, I'm the one that teaches them. The senator was like, oh, no.
Yeah, so if you want to be a doctor, you got to come through this guy in that field, right?
Yeah, he's a neuroscientist.
Neuroscience, right? But he was talking about heroin and his own personal heroin use. And I was like, you hear the stigmas of heroin, people shooting up needles and stuff like that. To hear him talk about, as a doctor in that field, like the positive sides of it, opened up my eyes to a different way of looking at drugs and things like that. So it was that's another reason why I wanted to talk to you, because you got to talk to that guy.
That was the main guy I wanted to interview.
Really?
Out of everybody I wanted to interview, he was the guy.
Yeah.
He was the guy, man. When I got him on the show, man, I was giddy. I was nervous. I never prepare for an interview, right?
Okay.
I like to freestyle it. I like to sort of go through it. One of the first guys that I'm like, all right, notes. I got pages pulled out. Man, I'm 10 minutes in the interview. It's going terribly.
Oh.
I threw my notes out, and I'm like, let's just have a conversation.
Let's
just talk, man. Yeah.
I'm the same way with these, and people sometimes ask, I've done my grandfather. I've done a couple of businesses here and there, and they're like, can I know what you're going to ask beforehand? I'm like, no, I just want to keep it like a conversation as much as possible. And everyone's like, okay, I'm cool with that. But going back to Dr. Carl Hart, man, has had to have, how old is that guy? Would you say?
I'm not sure. I'd probably say in his 50s.
In his 50s? Okay.
Probably.
So he's had a lifetime of, work in that field. But what were some of the main takeaways of talking to him, man? What did you get out of that one?
He justified the issues I was seeing in addiction treatment, the issues with NA, AA. I mean, we see shows like Addicted, right, on TV, or Intervention, right? And we think that this is addiction. Most of us still around today, at least us older ones, we were raised in that Nancy Reagan just say no 80s era, right? Where propaganda and lies, that's still in us. And so when you think about heroin use, you think about that usage, that's where we go, And he is certainly, Dr. Carl Hart is certainly coming out stronger than he was back then.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was what, 2016, somewhere around
something like
there?
that.
Something like that, a couple years ago?
Yeah.
So he's coming out stronger in terms of his own thoughts and his own beliefs now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's finally reached his cognitive rampage. I think he's finally reached where, I'm tired of this. Drug Use for Adults is his new book that came out.
Oh, okay. I'll check that one out.
And I forget the name of his book that I was interviewing, Chasing the High or something like that. Yeah. But that dude was a mentor to me, and a virtual mentor to me. On how he approached things, how he talked about things, and that's where a lot of the things I'm talking about sort of came from. It was talking about addiction treatment, what it really is, how we utilize it. I think the numbers he talks about is the people we understand as being addicts are 15% of the population that actually use. You're talking 75, 85% of the people that are using heroin, cocaine, oxys, whatever. They're functioning. They go to work. They have kids. They have families. They're functioning, and not like the functioning alcoholic, that an AA person would say. Yeah. They have full lives. They live full lives. They're in loving relationships. I mean, the definition of addiction technically is it's not considered addiction unless it negatively affects your biopsychosocial. So
biopsychosocial.
Yep, biopsychosocial. If it affects your biology to a negative point where your health is deteriorating.
Okay.
If your mental, your psycho is gone, right? You're seeing things, imagining things, forget who you are, whatever, angry, depressed, anxious, right? If these things are also affected, and your social, your job, your friends, your relationships, if all those three things are negatively affected for a period of time, now we're dealing with addiction.
Okay.
Right. And that could be shopping, right? That could be pick it.
Yeah.
Pick it.
Huh. There's such a stigma on drug use that it is this negative thing. You smoke weed one time, you're going to turn into a meth head and sell all your stuff. But the more I've started to be around people, and I think I told you a little bit, but I come from a corporate world where I've had, the largest team I ever had was like 1,000 people working for me.
Wow, man. What'd you do?
I was a district manager for Office Depot at the peak, which was like a director level, $100 million in annual sales. I grew up with the company, man. 15 years, started box boy, man. And then next thing you know, they're bringing me to the home office, and I'm meeting the CEO of a Fortune 300 company at the time. So
now you got a long beard and you surf and fish.
Dude, the beard started coming. I was like, I got to get out of this corporate world. It's too fake. Too fake, man. I'm not a fan of fake people. Yeah. That's why I don't like politics and shit like that, man. I don't like fake people. But what I started to learn was there's a severe amount of unhappiness in people having a team that large and being around all these executives, and then people try to hide. They try to hide their alcohol. They try to hide their marijuana use. They try to hide these certain things. And I got to a point in my life where I'm like, I don't want to have to hide. I don't want to have to pretend. So that's interesting, man. That I think you and I share maybe a little bit of that, at least with catching your knowledge with Dr. Carl Hart there about not wanting to live a fake life, man.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's something that struck me here is I want to be a real person as much as that means. You asked about cussing on here. Dude, you can say whatever you want. I got no ties to anything, man. I'm technically unemployed, you know, you want to go that
Congratulations.
far, yeah, it's been the best thing for me.
That's what I meant that. That was not sarcasm.
Yeah, man. And, you know, a lot of people here, people thought I died because I went like 2 months where I didn't look at my cell phone one time. It was awesome. It was awesome. So I wanted to get into Cognitive Rampage. You mentioned that term. You got it on your hat there. It's the name of your book. It's the name of your podcast too, right? Mm-hmm. What does that mean? You know, in the simplest terms, you know, what does that mean to you, the guy that invented it?
It's a passionate questioning of what we believe, what we're told to believe, an enthusiastic way of life, a constant questioning of self, but living with a humility and a constant method of self-improvement, of turning the same cameras that we have on other people in the world on ourselves, being able to question our own bullshit, and then rampage against those cognitive beliefs, those concrete beliefs, those things we think to be true, the things we believe to be true about ourselves, the world, others, what must be, right? Masturbation, what must be, what has to be, what I have to do, right? And questioning all of those things in a rampage method, man. Not like, oh, am I like that? You know, really coming at it and then going, wait a minute, and sort of waking up to that there really is no truth in this world. That the truth that we believe to be true is we define it as that. It's our perception of what truth is. We are raised on what truth is, right? Our parents or whoever it is tell you, our society, TV, whatever, politics, my politicians, they tell you what truth is. And so what our truth is as we get older, we don't realize isn't even our truth.
Yeah.
We think it is because we've experienced something, we've went through something, so it must be true. And then when you only realize that the truth that you have defined is really merely your perception, it's why two people that are in love can have the worst argument. Yeah. But they were both there. Well, no, you said this, and it meant, no, I didn't say that. I meant this, right? It's two perceptions of one experience creating two different truths. Yeah. When one, it's hard for people to let go of that. Right? Because we define ourselves by it.
That way.
Right. So to ask somebody to say, everything I know to be true is merely my perception of it, it's scary as fuck. Yeah. Some people are like, nope, can't do that.
Can't handle it.
I can't handle that. It's too much. It's our cognitive dissonance sets in, right? It's too much. I often tell the story about cognitive dissonance. They did this, not a research project, but they knew this river was going to flood. I want to say it was Mississippi. Knew it was going to flood. They told people in a 10-mile radius of this river. They knew it was flooding at least 3 miles out. Told people 1 to 10 miles to get out. The further that they were away, a higher percentage evacuated. The closer you got to the river, the less percentage of people evacuated. People died 1 to 2 miles from this flood when it happens. Why? Why don't they leave?
Yeah, why?
Cognitive dissonance. It won't happen. It can't happen. You mean my entire house will flood and I'll be trapped in here, possibly drown? This can't. We've lived here 15 years.
I've seen this river for 15 years. It's never flooded. It's not going to happen.
We're going to be fine.
Wow.
That cognitive dissonance sets in and literally enables human beings from change or life-saving actions. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I am an addict, right? I must be because of my experience with drugs. You don't understand. Once I have one, I have to have 30, especially if you believe that. Yeah. So if I believe that, then that's what I'm going to do, right? So that belief, that cognitive dissonance of what it can't be, man. We wave our hands in front of our face.
Do you think most people live in a state of cognitive dissonance where that is how they live their life, through that lens?
I think so. I mean, I hate to say a most, right?
Sure. It's general, but
I think a lot. Dude, we almost have to survive.
It's easier.
Who else would spend 15 years in corporate and 25 years in corporate walking in going, hey, Jim, good to see you again, buddy. That's awesome. You come to the barbecue this weekend? Right? Who really would live this way purposefully? Right? Now, I'm going to throw a side note in. It is much easier to live that way when you have bills, mortgages, and kids.
Sure.
Right? Because once you have a kid, now this meaningless, purposeless job has meaning. Right? right? Now it has meaning, and people will stay in that job for 40 years, right? Because of it. They won't chase dreams. Well, I got a family now. I'm not chasing dreams. I can't. I always ask those people, would you tell your kid to do that? Would you tell your kid that, no, give up your dreams. You just get a job, take care of yourself. You got things to do now, right? We wouldn't even tell our own kids to do what we're doing.
That's interesting, man. Do you know who Kevin O'Leary is? Mr. Wonderful. He's on Shark Tank, bald guy. Yeah. He came out with a statement the other day that said a salary is what they give you to forget your dreams.
Holy shit.
For I think he's a billionaire. I don't know. He's got a lot of money.
Easily said for a billionaire.
He easily said that somebody that is in that space to come out with a statement like that, I was like, huh. Like, he's probably got salaried employees. I'm like, come on, man.
Right. But he probably started as a salary employee once.
100%.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. But for me, chasing money wasn't, you could do that for, like you said, you got a mortgage, you got bills. Chasing money became the problem for me. I got to make more money. I got to have this. I got to have this thing. For me, it's now I'm trying to chase time. I got kids. Do you have kids?
Nope.
No kids. So I got 2 kids, man. And once I had them, they changed me for sure.
Sure.
You know? And it made me realize that it ain't about money. It's about time. If I can get more time with them, time spending teaching them things,
beautiful.
Dude, that was the real reason why I didn't go back to another company.
Dude, that is a beautiful awakening, man. You know how many fathers and mothers don't realize that until their kid's 18 going to college?
I've talked to them, man. These guys that have been in the business for 40 years, 50 years, and they're like, I didn't get to see my kids when they were little. I had to miss this. I had to miss that. For the right reasons, probably, some of them, but I didn't want to live that life, man.
I'm just glad you woke up to that. Yeah. That's something I can only imagine, not having a kid. But I can only imagine what that feels like to look back and go like, my kid's 21 in college, man. Yeah. Like, where'd it go?
Where'd the time go?
Look at this beautiful house. They have a great car. Their college is paid for. But you lived your life on an airplane.
Right.
You were gone 5 days a week. Yeah.
That was me, man.
I often question, do you think the parents do that for themselves, really?
I was doing it for myself. I was chasing money and different things for different reasons, and it was status, being 3 airports a week, flying around, and it felt like you were somebody, in a small world. I think it was selfishly for me. But what my kids helped me is to be less selfish. And I think that's what you should get out of having children, at least in my opinion, is it's not about you, man. The world's not about you in general. It took me too long to figure that out.
Dude, there's some rampage in you, man. Cognitive rampage. That's beautiful, man.
That's why I wanted to talk to you.
That's some humility you got right there. That's breaking that cognitive dissonance. That's questioning the concrete beliefs. That's the first part of it. Is being able to go, what am I doing here and why? Really why? Not why I have the kids. I have to pay. Not that, to go further and ask why again. Ask why to that. That's one of the steps, actually. Because in my book, it's not just this. Not just a bunch of self-help, jargon and words. There's actually activities. There's, you learn how to actually lay out your life philosophy. Most people don't know what their life philosophy is. They'll regurgitate a quote they like or some shit, right? But that doesn't apply to real life all the time, right? And it's not even yours, right? So you lay out a way to figure out a life philosophy, but a rational one. There's a lot of sayings out there that sound great that are rational as fuck.
Right?
They're like, what's that really mean? Doesn't mean anything. And then I'll show you another meme that counters that meme. You know what I mean?
Meme counter.
Right. I'll be like, here's a quote and a saying, right? But here's also a quote and a saying. You like them both, don't you? Well, they battle each other. So, but what's your philosophy, right? How do you live, right? And part of that is starting out by asking why over and over and over to yourself to one simple question and literally writing that down, right? What do I believe about the world? I believe this about the world. Why? Well, this I believe about the world, right? And you'll get it all the way down. I use keywords in there. Keywords I call determinate words. When we use words like always, must, have to, all the time. Those are keywords to kind of point out what you're saying is probably irrational, right? And you're just beating yourself over the head with why, and rewriting till you get to a point of frustration. And then you filter through the bullshit, and then you finally start to find out, well, I'm doing this for money, right? Or whatever that may be. Yeah, whatever that may be for somebody. And that ends up shaping a life philosophy for they literally write down. And so asking that question why is a part of what living the cognitive rampage is, right? The name came about really because I actually have a theoretical approach. It was called Transrational Structure Behavior Theory, a mouthful of bullshit, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, at the time I'm in the field, right? So you had to call it that, right? That's just what you did. Solution-focused brief therapy, right? Whatever you had, your approach had to be a model of approach.
Okay.
Right? And so I put this thing together, Transrational Structure Behavior Theory, which essentially just says to transition to a rational state of thought through changing of thought and behavior through a structured method for change, right? So there were so many, I love the greats, dude. I can talk for hours. You know how some people can talk for hours about football and football players, the greatest quarterbacks, whatever, of all time? I can do that about theorists. Like rappers, you know, like, oh, this guy's better, this guy's better. Like, I mean, from Albert Ellis, right, to Carl Jung and all these guys, man, that were behavioralists. They were cognitive practitioners, right? They were environmentalists, right? They were social believers, right? So all of these guys had amazing theories that said, hey, no, it's, you know, Albert Ellis is my favorite. He's gangster as fuck. I love saying that about,
I don't know him, man.
Oh, he's gangster as
check him
fuck.
out.
Oh, this dude's gangster as fuck, man. Like, and for me, it's trippy, right? But he was gangster as fuck because at the time, he would rationally motive behavior therapy, his REBT, that was his deal. He was a pusher of the cognitive idea that it's all in what you think and believe. It's not so much in behavior, right? It's what you think and believe. And what he would say is you can't just have a feeling, and you're not going to do a behavior without a feeling, right? So you can't just have a feeling. Feeling comes from what you were thinking, but what and how you think comes from what you believe.
Right.
Most of us don't even realize what we believe. We just think this is how I think and this is what I think. So,
Or why? Yeah.
Or we go even further and we go, I just feel like it. You can't have a feeling without a thought. That fucks people's head up because they think, I feel like this is going to be a bad day. Well, what were you just thinking? Right? And so he would come on stage and just battle these behavioralists. He literally would go on stage at places like Columbia University. I mean, you pick it. He'd go on stage, he'd bring people up and show his theory and his approach to people. And he was an arrogant fuck too. And he cursed at the time too, so people are like, what the fuck? And I used to be able to do a good impression. He would talk about being irrational. This is very good. Being irrational. Well, let's talk about you because I'm not irrational, so we'll talk about you, right? And he would just walk through the stages and, man, to come out and just do that and to show off your approach on stage in front of the greatest minds and let them challenge you.
Gangster.
Yeah, gangster, man. Gangster. But the biggest gangster of them all is Freud. I love this joke. The biggest gangster of them all is Freud, because before Freud came along, right, it was you had a demon in you, right? You had demons messing with you. Right. The evil spirits were on you. You had a curse, right? Maybe some, if you went back to the Greeks, right, you had some different fluid issues in your head, right? But then Freud comes out and is like, it's because you want to fuck your mom. Whoa, what? Right? What the fuck? Yeah. Who the fuck says that shit, right? That's gangster as fuck, man. It's just, it's penis envy, right?
It's an easy way to kind of summarize that monkey brain a little bit that we all have that people, I think, forget that's what we have.
Yeah. He was gangster, man. And so I love those guys. So I squirrel off, man.
Interesting.
And so as I studied these guys, Erickson and Pavlov, the behavioralists, right? Behavioralists are considered really rigid. Behavioralists would tell you, it doesn't matter what you think and what you feel. These things are irrelevant. It's your behavior. If you want to change something, repeat a behavior pattern over time, and that will then change what you think and how you feel, right? Cognitive practitioners will say it's not about what you're doing in your behavior or how you feel. It's what you're thinking. So change what you think to change how you feel. That will predict new behavior. Behavioralists do it back up this way, right? A environmentalist, or not environmentalist, why am I losing the word? Sociologists, right, would say, no, it's your environment, it's your social environment. So the environments that you're in are going to shape how and what you think and what you do, right? Now, it's none of the others. It's just this, right? Then you would have more people that are on the biology level, right? It's how your brain functions, right? It's how your brain patterns operate, the brain waves, or certain imbalances of hormones in your body, right? And I looked at all of these amazing, amazing names that were just doing amazing things. And I started wondering first in school, I was like, a lot of these dudes are old, man. Like, where's the new REBT? Where's the new, we're just studying these guys that were putting this shit out in the 60s and 70s. Where's the new acronym, right?
Yeah.
And so in my narcissism and arrogance, I was like, I'm going to do that, right? And that's where Transrational Structural Behavior Theory came from. I took all of those guys, and on the shoulders of giants we build, right? I tried to do something that was authentically me, right? But just, I don't think there's an original idea.
Sure.
And so I pulled from those greats the best I could and put that into a structure that you could apply to yourself, and then use the behavioral things, and then use behavior to change how you feel, use the change of thoughts and what you believe, and recognition of the irrational thoughts to change how you feel and what you believe, use the environmental issues that or environmental sciences we've learned at the same time, use the biology that we've learned too about hormonal imbalances, right, about certain medications, certain foods, certain sleep patterns, right, use all of those things, put all of that together to sustain longer change. And you can't sell a book called Transrational Structure Behavior Theory.
That mouthful.
Yeah. And I was a cognitive practitioner when I started. I was a CBT practitioner, cognitive behavioral therapy practitioner.
Okay.
And I thought cognitive, that word, most people don't know what it means, right? It's kind of dry. Cognitive, like, but what am I doing? And when I gave speeches, when I talked, when I was fucking pissed, right, about some of the things that people weren't getting help for, right, that the system being twisted. I needed to rampage against the system, an all-out assault on the system. And that's when I thought those two words make no sense together. One is to think, or the thinking, and one is to rampage. And so a thinking rampage in its most simplistic form.
Interesting, man, because that's not what I thought. Hearing it, from you directly changes my thought process on it a little bit. But you went down this road. You mentioned people get into these fields because of things in themselves that they want to try to improve on.
Yeah.
But then it got to where there's probably legitimate people that you've helped along the way in your career as well. Maybe. Not important to you.
I would say that if I quotes helped anybody, I would say no, that they helped themselves. They listened. They applied what they learned. They did the work. Otherwise, I'm just making noises. Right. Who the fuck am I?
Somebody else putting a meme out.
That's it. But if you listened, you did the work. You changed this. You questioned your own bullshit. You put in the work. You created the structure. You made different choices. That's all fucking you.
Sure.
I'm just, and most of the time I'm just a megaphone regurgitating what I've learned, from other people. So it's hardly me. It's fucking hardly me. I mean, we don't necessarily appreciate, like, say we watch a good TV show. We're not going like, thank God that TV is there. Right? We're like, I love Netflix, man, or I love that series they put out, right? We're not like, just look at that immaculate television. Right? I'm just the television, just reflecting what the work people have done in some organized fashion.
Interesting way to look at it. It seems like, and again, I spend a lot of time having young minds trying to think about people's minds, right, with my kids. It seems like people have a hard time when they come through certain environments ever breaking out of it.
Yeah.
So in your field, obviously you've had a lot of talks with different kind of people. How do you get that message across as far as the product of where you came from doesn't have to be where you end?
Yeah, I've used a example like that in my book, right? Is how do you take two kids, all things equal, in terrible environment? One makes it out and one doesn't. What's the difference? Is it some government, plan, right? Do they have an extra? No. What is the difference between one and the other, and one that makes it and one that crashes and burns or follows the environment? For me, it's what they believe about that environment, what they believe about themselves, right? Is it an excuse or is it a reason? Right? The reason I'm doing this for my life is to get the fuck out of this.
Right.
The reason I do what I do in my life is because of this. Right? The belief of that, and it's a small margin, right, that really gets out of that.
Sure.
And I, the nature, nurture, environment versus biology, right? I do think environment probably nudges genetics a little bit more. I would say it's more 60-40, not this even split. I mean, it's theoretical anyway, but you can take someone that may have some pretty bad genetics. Now we're learning that, abuse and things like this can be passed genetically.
Really?
All right. Anger, abuse, certain issues can be passed genetically. So if you took a person that maybe came from, quotes, bad genetics, right, or damaged genetics, right, and put them in an environment that's different, that's nurturing, that's loving, right, supportive, right, that person may never turn into that genetically based person. Like father, like son, right?
Yeah.
And it may not ever do that. The environment is that powerful, and it's that powerful in a negative instance too, right? That environment is probably the death of most of us. You know, not willing to get it. Because the thing is I'll use myself as an example, is I didn't want to leave the drug world and the nightclub world and this crazy life because my tools worked there. The tools I had to develop as a child to survive that childhood, if you will, and much worse childhood than me. My God, I'm listening to Francis Ngannou right now in his life. Jesus Christ. I had it wonderful, you know.
He was working in some mines.
Sand mines and shit.
Like
oh, my God. Yeah. Like, dude, who the fuck am I, right? Yeah. Like, never mind.
Yeah, I had it easy.
Pussy. That's what I feel, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm like, fuck that shit.
Sure.
You know, but the tools that I had to develop to survive that became tools that worked wonderfully in similar environments. So when I would create environments of hectic chaos. I thrive there. I'm calm there.
You're used to it.
Yeah, I'm used to it, and it feels good. It felt fucking good because I wasn't anxious, I wasn't depressed, I wasn't nervous. I wasn't I'm like, I belong here. You know, and football helps shapes that too. You know what I mean? When that plays right into it.
Sure.
So from childhood to teenage years through my young adulthood, I lived in a state of hypervigilance. So thus we create environments that fit the tools that work for us. And there was no telling me my tools didn't work because I'd have shot myself at 10 years old. You know what I mean? I played Russian roulette 3 times with my dad's 357. Damn. You know what I mean? I lived it. So to look at me at 25 and say, "Hey, your tools aren't working for you, man." I'm like, "Bitch,
yeah.
I didn't kill myself back when I was a teenager, when I was an adolescent. So it fucking worked for me. Fuck you. You want to fight? Right? These fucking tools work for me, man. You know." And then you find yourself in jail or locked up or something. You're like, "I don't think these tools are working for me." You know what I mean? You're like, "Holy shit, I got to change these tools." Yeah. But people, I think, learn the tools at a young age. And the tools that, you know, that we learn at the toughest points of our lives become our go-to tools, you know, or go-to characteristics, right? Or go-to behaviors, go-to beliefs, right? All of those, that's like it's like using a shotgun to kill an ant, right? Like it's like, it's probably not going to work. I mean, you're going to cause a lot of damage. Yeah. But it works. You know what I mean? I eventually got that motherfucker, right? So we keep using that shotgun, or if it's not working, it must be the people around me. I need to thus create an environment that matches all of those tools in my life so I feel better. It's why people repeat abusive relationships. It's why people repeat behavior patterns of their lives. It's why people may be good for a little while and then lose their job and they're back on heroin, right? And using it unprofessionally, right? It's why people may do this pattern. It's like, oh, I'll change. They feel uncomfortable here. It's not working. It's why I always use the line and have forever in my book, uncomfortable is where the change is. So when you find yourself uncomfortable, sit in that shit. That's where the change is. Sit through that uncomfortable feeling of whatever it is, right? Yeah. So your tools have time to change. You know what I mean? The tools are, and when I say tools, again, I'll reference, you know, what we think, what we do, what we put in our bodies, our environments, our people. These are our tools, right? We continue to use those tools constantly because they work for us at a tragic and difficult time in our life, man. And if people can recognize what those tools are, recognize why they use those tools, be aware of what those tools are. With awareness comes change, right? And if we're not aware of why we used, I had no idea why I loved carrying a gun and selling drugs. You know, I had no idea why I wanted to rob drug dealers. Why was that enjoyable to me? And then the thought becomes, I'm just a sick fuck. You know, I was abused as a kid. Of course I'm doing this shit, right? And then start going, well, why though? Why? This is not normal. Why are you like that? Well, it's easy, man. My dad was abusive, right? Yeah. Nah, go further than that, right? Why was your dad abusive? I don't know why he was abusive. Why did he do that? Probably because I'm a bad kid. Why do you think you're a bad kid? Well, why do I think I'm a bad kid? I was told I was a bad kid. I was treated like one, so I must be. There it is. I'm masturbating, right? It's using those words, right? Yeah. And so it's going through it until you recognize you're like, holy shit, I'm just recreating my same environment over and over and over again because the tools that I learned and that worked for me are continuing to work here. Yeah. And until you question the environment and then question your tools, you're going to repeat that same behavior pattern most of your life.
Do you think that you hear this a lot about people, and Francis is probably a good example of this too, where in order to get to this point, you have to go through some of this whether it's adversity or whether it's challenges, whatever the case may be, do you think that people have to struggle in order to get to the mindset that you have today? Would you not have that mindset if you didn't experience some of those things that you had to experience?
My initial response is yes. I do believe that if we don't have struggle, the mind will create it. I do believe that. I think struggle has made our species come to where it is today, right?
For sure.
Eat, survival, saber-tooths, right? It's like, we're going to die. We should build something. You know what I mean? We should get a spear or something. We should make a weapon.
It's cold out here. Let's build a house.
Right. We should work together. What the fuck, right?
Yeah.
And so that this struggle progresses us. I guess you could call it progression, even though that's subjective, right? Of what progression is,
Sure.
right? Part of me would rather be a Native American living out west still, you know.
Huge part of me would want to be a Native
I'd
American.
rather, so is this progression? I don't know. Is the iPhone progression? I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Is there a point of progression where it becomes regression, right? By the way, Tony Wright on my podcast, I had him on twice. Holy shit. That
Tony
dude,
Wright?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'll check him out.
Anybody listening or whatever,
Yeah.
go listen to that dude, man. Blew my fucking mind.
Really?
Had him on twice. He believes we're in a state of regression, not progression, but it's masked by the idea of progression, so we keep moving forward to our own self-destruction.
Interesting.
And he dates it back to the removal of the rainforest and where we used to live and being with nature constantly and how our body operated. We operate like a plant anyway. So less sunlight, right? Vitamin D comes down. You can explain it with science, but he starts to explain all of these things we now know with science as being effective of why we are at war with each other, right? Why our species continues to destroy itself and thinking we're progressing, right? Why the air gets worse, right? We get dirtier and dirtier water, right? We're literally killing. We make nuclear weapons. Like, what the fuck, right? This is retarded, right? Well, they made them, so we got to make them.
We got to have them in case they use them.
Yeah, right? And so we rationalize, but I got off subject, man.
No, it's good.
But he talks about the, regression. And so without the struggle, I would say the mind will create it. I think a lot of times, and certainly not most of the time, but sometimes I should say, I think anxiety and depression come from the lack of struggle. You see childhood stars as an easy example, or kids coming up where they really didn't have to want for anything. So the minute they don't get the new iPhone or the new branded shoes or the new Jordans or something, it's a fucking hissy fit or they're going to run away, right? Without that struggle, the mind has to create it, I think, because I think it's this machine that's going, all right, give me something to push back against so I can get stronger. And when there's nothing to push back against, you have a hissy fit over not getting the new Jordans, right? And most of us would look at it and be like, the fuck, man? And side note, it's why I think a lot of these comics that were greats at once get soft and fall off. No struggle.
No struggle anymore.
Yeah, no struggle.
But while they're coming up, they're struggling big time.
They're the murderers. They're murderers. And then they're doing comedy shows in their living room and they're worth a couple gazillion dollars, and then they're joking about how bad life is, right? And nobody believes you anymore.
Dana White said something about, you follow fighting a little bit,
Yeah.
obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Dana
Yeah.
White said something about Conor McGregor the other day. Like, he gets off the yacht in Abu Dhabi to walk up to fight Dustin.
Dustin Poirier,
right?
yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's interesting. You got $300 million in the bank. You roll up on a yacht. How motivated are you? That's interesting.
I think he misses the struggle. He misses the environment of the struggle because it made him great.
That's who made him who he is.
When I saw him not talking shit anymore, I'm like, he's not winning.
Nah.
It's over. He's not talking shit anymore.
That's what you thought.
Yeah, he's not talking shit anymore. That's what he did. That's what he started. Now he's all humble and shit.
Yeah.
Like me, people. Right? Nobody fucking liked you. Either loved him or you fucking hated that guy.
That's right.
And he didn't care. Talk shit and talk shit. When I saw him go, let's give him a good fight, Dustin, I'm like, it's over.
It's over.
It's fucking
He's
over.
losing.
It's over, man.
He had a good game plan, though, man. That leg kick, I think people
Sure.
underestimate, the plan he had coming in there. But everybody goes straight to Conor. Connor's the name. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. But when I heard Dana White say that struck with me. This guy's got, he's making all this whiskey money or whatever the case may be, and he comes strolling in on a yacht, and he gets beat.
Yeah, you get beat, man. I guess a good story of that is Rocky IV, right? So I may be dating myself.
No,
here,
help me out. I've
but
seen him.
Rocky IV is the Russian.
Okay.
So in Rocky III, Apollo Creed gets killed. Apollo Creed's arrogant, right? He's not been in the ring rust. Oh, I'm the man. I'm going to get in there. He gets murked, literally, right? And then in Rocky, it had become soft. He had his big mansion and shit.
Mercedes.
Yeah, he's soft too.
Yeah.
But now he's fighting for a different reason. And what's he do to train?
Goes to Russia.
And lives in a fucking barn. You know what I mean? He's lifting logs and shit. You know what I mean? He's like, I don't get to see my woman. I don't get to see shit. Right? He puts himself through a struggle. And what's Drago got? all the machines, all the new shit, right? He's all rigged up to stuff. You're thinking, my God, this guy it's impossible, right?
Right.
And that's kind of a similar story of like, if without that struggle, man, we will lose sight, I think, of maybe growth or progressing ourselves, right? And the mind, I think, it's the machine that's going to operate whether we're paying attention or not, I think. And anxiety also has other reasons. Post-traumatic stress, subject to trauma and things like that can cause anxiety, many other things. But particularly, there's a massive rise right now in teenage girls of suicide, up 14, 15, 20%.
This one scares me, man, with a 6-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Social media?
Everybody wants to go to social media, I think, for sure. I think it's a lot of the lack of struggle. Is as fathers, right? I have 2 nieces, right? I raised what I would call a stepdaughter to me, but divorce took her from me. So I basically raised her from 7th to a senior in high school. So I sort of went through that too.
Yeah.
I know I said I had no kids. It's a difficult thing for me.
Okay.
I love her and I miss her to death. But certain reasons I won't be reached out to, right? I mean, you gotta go with what mom says, right?
Got it.
So outside of that, so I understand the idea of not wanting to give our daughters any struggle. Right? Raise them like the queen. Don't let them face those things, right? Yeah. Then you get preacher's daughter syndrome sometimes, right?
Some of the worst ones were the preacher's daughters, man.
They seek the struggle now. They're seeking the struggle. They're seeking reasons to be upset, right? I do believe social media has an impact that we have yet to determine by science. I really do believe that. I just don't think we know what it's doing. We have the obvious, right? They're looking at filtered faces and women that they don't look like, right? This to me is too obvious. I don't think Mother Nature in the mind is that obvious.
Right.
I think sure we see that, but we saw good-looking dudes too, right? I'm like, fuck, I want to be jacked, right? We saw that, and girls saw that at our age too. They saw models and Tyra Banks and Heidi Klum, right? And they still weren't doing that then. Sports Illustrated was the shit back then, right? So they still saw that, and you didn't see that. You see this spike now. And I think that constant observing of social media is doing something on the neurological level that we don't recognize yet, that we don't see. Like, we know CTE is a thing, but you can't see it till you really die, right? And they cut you open. I think we're going to start to see something else that we just weren't ready for this. And I think it's doing something to developing minds in a certain way.
Yeah.
That I think we'll see it later.
It's an odd way to communicate. And that's why I've been sort of addicted to podcasts, is because I much prefer a conversation. People can have difference of opinions. That was something that was taught in me early on. But then you got people that want to change your opinion. And, some of those people I don't necessarily want to talk to because I want to have my own. But with social media, it seems like the way people communicate on there, it doesn't seem good. It doesn't seem like that's how we're supposed to communicate as a species. A
lot of people throwing around cognitive or concrete beliefs.
Concrete beliefs.
No one's willing to question their own belief with a little bit of humility. It's I'm fucking right and you're stupid.
You can look at that with politics recently,
right? That's what it is. There's no humility to question your own shit first.
Yeah.
Right? How could I be wrong?
Right.
How could this be fucked up? And that's so hard to people, because when you ask them to do that, you're literally asking them to question everything they are. Whether it's political or moral, right? Whatever that question is, remember, I go back to the beginning to ask people, if you want something different or a change, it's questioning your own shit first.
Right.
But that's hard to do. We are defined by what we believe.
Yeah.
God forbid you question that. Yeah. There's people that have made this choice you made, right? To walk away from a well-built corporate career, right? There's people that are probably your friends that probably aren't your friends anymore, or reach out to you less, that are still in the corporate world. The same goes for people that are single all their lives and don't have children, versus your friends that end up having multiple kids and get married. Watch them grow apart. Yeah. I'm one of those, right? A lot of my friends have gotten married, have kids, and I'm single, right? I don't have kids. It grows apart. They don't talk to me anymore. Is it, oh, I'm too busy, Adam, life's going, right? No, I don't think so. It's not because it's too busy. I think it's because the way I live my life, and even them, the way you live your life, just in living that, questions their life. So you're looking...
And that makes them uncomfortable.
Damn right. You're like, hold on, man. Hold on, Steven. So by you living like this and walking away from your job, you're telling me I had a different option?
Yeah.
Because I had to believe that this was my only option because I got mortgage and kids.
Right.
You got mortgage and
kids for 50 years already.
Right. You got mortgage and kids. You can't just walk away like that.
Right.
You can't do that. What are you going to do? Right? You're going to be homeless. Like, this is terrible. When you retire, what do you, right? They start firing all this shit at you. Yeah. But really, it's two different beliefs and behaviors, really, of living. That fucking makes people uncomfortable, man. Yeah. They don't like that shit.
I don't like the idea of concrete beliefs, man. I don't think that's a real thing. You know, I mean, obviously there's some things that are proven to be true, but most people, like you said in the beginning, how we've been talking this whole time, what you believe is shaped from things that have happened to you or around you for your entire life. That's an interesting way to think about it, man. But I'm trying to not be married to any idea. You know, I love being wrong about things, you know, but something recently here, and I blame podcasts, man. I really do. And I'm listening to these people that have dedicated their lives to a certain field or whatever the case may be that have difference of opinions. I'm like, there's a whole world out there. And if you're open to listening to other things, it seems like the better way to go versus being closed off. I'm right. I'm pushing this way. You got to be this way. I don't think you can change people like that, man.
Oh, no.
You know?
Yeah, change, like, remember you asked me if I ever help people. Change is when the person decides that, right? I've actually did a video on Facebook, ironically enough, right? And we're using media, right?
Yeah, you got to a little.
Right? The irony, right?
Yeah.
Is how many of you have actually been on Facebook, got an argument with somebody, and then went, oh, I never looked at it that way. You're right. Yeah. This fucking happened. No. But we keep trying. Well, this fucking thing and this article says, and here's my reference, and here's this shit. Right? You can pound people with that, but the more you do that, the stronger they hold on to that belief. So the more you pound them with how they're wrong, the more they grab onto it. But if you as a person start to say, hey, you know, politics are easy. I like that policy that he used for this. You know, I saw the way he treated media like that at first, and I could see why he would do that. Now you're going to get the person to go, yeah, and I can see why you guys would see it that way too. Right. Now we're getting somewhere. Right. Now we're getting somewhere, but it's that show of humility first, right? That show of humility is that I'm probably fucking wrong. Yeah. And more than likely, and if I tell people, if you believe that you are right 100%, start there. Yeah. Start fucking there, because it's fucking not I use the roller coaster thing a lot, where I tell people, you know, if you rode a roller coaster and you told me it's not scary, I ride the roller coaster, I tell you it's scary. Who's telling the truth? Right. We were both on the roller coaster, and you're on it. You're like, dude, it's not scary, bro. I fucking rode it. And I'm like, I fucking rode it too. Fuck that shit.
I'm scared.
I ain't riding that shit. I experienced the feeling of fear. You're not going to tell me that's not true. And you're going, dude, I experienced fun. What are you talking about? Same roller coaster.
Completely different.
What's the fucking difference? Yeah. Right? What's the difference in that shit? You know, it's all fucking perception. All of it. Now, can we argue that wood is wood? Sure. Okay. Can we argue that if, you know, it's a bottle of water in front of me? Yeah. Maybe, right? Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. We could argue that. Sure. People can take you to tasks for something like that, right? Or are we going to argue that, you know, the floor is wood, right? We could take to task that. Right. But when people are going through life issues, you know, you got to start at that base, and that base is getting them open enough, you know, to question the cognitive dissonance. Really, I call them the core beliefs. What do you believe about self, others, and the world? Those three core beliefs seed everything. They seed whether you like the Miami Dolphins or whether you do or don't eat eggplant, right? All starts from those three beliefs. You maybe have an experience with eggplant, right? So what do I believe about the world leads to what I believe about food. I believe food should taste good. It leads to it leads all the way. I had it one time with an experience which tells me that roller coaster is scary. It tells me eggplant is shitty, right? Because I had it once, right? Broccoli is terrible, right? But now I love broccoli, right? We get older and we eat other shit, right? So our experiences change, right? Because we're open to it, right? Our food choices from 12 years old to 35 years old, Jesus Christ.
Completely different.
Right. Yeah. I eat these 5 things when I'm 10, you know what I mean? Right?
I'm going through the same thing now, and I try to tell my daughter, because she gets on like, I don't like that. I'm like, how you know you don't like that? You never tried it, right? So one of those situations. But
and so we begin to open ourselves up to that, right? I forgot where I was going. We were talking about change, choices. Where was I going? Change, choices, change. I'm going to squirrel off way too much.
Dude, it happens.
Oh, truth. About truth and questioning, that it's just our perception of the experience. But the point is people have their life experiences. They were there. Right. Even to a point, trauma could be considered subjective. What makes it trauma? What makes it traumatic? For some people, a breakup is traumatic.
Sure.
For some people, you got to go to Afghanistan. You know what I mean? So what's the level of trauma here?
Trauma is subjective. Yeah.
Yeah. What do we define as trauma? Is what they tell us is trauma, right?
Right.
It can be a very small thing that is traumatic to people, or some people can go through fucking everything and nothing. And nothing there, right? Are they a psychopath, right? What's the difference there between what trauma is? Even trauma to a point is subjective, right? And when you open yourself up to that, because I've dealt with some of the toughest people that experience fucking childhood rape, right? That experience molestation, all kinds of the darkest things you can think about. So what do you work with that person, right? And it's very difficult to start with that person and say, I know it felt and experienced like it was traumatic. But what made that traumatic? Is it because what society has told you is traumatic? What should fuck you up? Should is one of those words. You're shoulding all over yourself. Right? So it should be traumatic. It was traumatic. I was there. I experienced that roller coaster was fucked up. Right? Does it become the excuse or the reason? Right? And that's hard when you're working with people that have been through some of what we consider the most traumatic things on the planet.
Sure.
You know, what do you tell that person? You know, but it starts, I think, with all of us as questioning that shit, right? Why? What is trauma? What do I believe, and why do I believe? And I do know it's just perception. Some people lose their motherfucking minds.
Sure, but people get comfortable, I think, also not questioning that as well. Like it's a lot easier to just kind of just go through the motions. But I don't want to be one of those people. I like questioning things. You know, I like trying to understand why I think a certain way or why people think a certain way. I think it's. You talk about the world, right? And, you know, as one of the approaches. And for me, life is too short, man, you know, for all this unhappiness, for all this negative stuff. And like, it can be gone in a second. And I try to tell my kids just how lucky we are to even be alive, let alone be here in America versus somewhere else where you could be born, right? So I try to live where it's more, we're just lucky to be here, man. You might as well just be, try to be as happy as you can and do the best that you can. And if people don't like you, fuck them, man. Like, who cares, you know? I think people get caught up too much in what other people think sometimes too. And I try to, teach my kids, like, who cares? You know, people like you and people won't.
The social acceptance, though. I mean, and they're finding more and more research now that without social acceptance, it's really traumatic on the person's development.
Really?
A social acceptance or a community that would belong to. Dr. Gabor Mate talks a lot about that. That addiction, he's a trauma-based addiction believer, right? That all things that come from trauma. I disagree with that. To say that all mental health issues or all addiction comes from trauma. I know people that didn't experience much trauma that are fine, right? But people where I do really lean toward his science and research is social connection, the lack thereof. The lack of true social connection and belonging can be probably one of the most mental health or detrimental mental health issues we experience, right? And so some people, we deal with it right by saying, fuck them, right? I don't fucking need them guys, right? Or I don't need them. But we came up as tribes, right? Our families are tribes, right? We then seek, as we get older, we seek tribal acceptance outside of our own as steps toward creating our own tribal family, right? And I think social media has removed that. I think as much as, COVID is really a thing and people are dying and it's really a sickness, and that is true, people are not looking at the other side of isolation. I do stand-up comedy too, and one of the jokes I use that I open up is pretty dark, and I'm like, the first question on a depression survey to see if you're suffering from depression, have you been isolating?
Like everybody over the last little while?
Right.
Interesting.
So we're literally being ordered and told and even publicly shamed for not doing something that causes severe depression and severe anxiety. And I mean, what? Right? And now we're losing social connection. Kids are having to be at home and not at school. They're not connecting with friends. We as adults or parents aren't doing that. We're not connecting with people in a certain way. And when you start to lose that, we start to lose humanity. We lose humanity. In a long period of time without social connection, caring about your neighbor, judging your neighbor, blaming the neighbor, history has not shown that this is good for society in any certain form. You have to get to that point to make a choice, and then throw the basics on there, like no money, no job, right? Food, Right? Throw your basics.
Just
in there.
compiling all the things that could make you depressed.
But you better fucking stay home, you piece of shit.
Yeah,
Like,
you can't work, you can't make money.
no.
The world, and I know people say this in a lot of different generations, it feels like a different place for real this time. I think people are really starting to realize certain things. I hope that, at least for me, that, you know, whether go back to government or whatever you want to go to, like, these people don't have the answers either. No. You know, and the ones they tell you sometimes are just lies, man.
Right.
You know, it's
and that's freaking people's base out though.
Yeah.
You know, I forget the one song, but it's "Go Back to Sleep, America. Your government is now under control."
Yeah.
Right? You know, and for some people there are some people that are hardcore, like government, you know, God, family, government, or something. You know, they're hardcore. Right. And as this is showing that they don't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody knows what to do. It's shaking the ground. It's shaking the very essence of people's cognitive beliefs about what life is and should be, man.
That's heavy for people, man. That's
much.
heavy.
Yeah. Hence a giant rise in suicide, man.
Right.
From both sides, man.
Right.
I mean, it's not just young ones; it's old ones, man.
Ones,
It is flying up right now, and not many people are talking about it.
Right.
You know, it's stay home. You know, don't be in public. Don't gather in groups. People are taking themselves out, man, because they're not socially connected anymore.
Yeah.
Or they don't get to go to work or lost their job where they were socially connected.
Right.
You have single people that don't have kids that have been trapped in apartments for 11 months. What?
Yeah.
I mean, we know what isolation does to somebody in a prison.
Right.
Holy shit. We're doing that to most of this country.
Yeah.
Oh my, the psychos that are going to come out when it comes out.
Yeah.
I mean, I laugh at it, right? But fuck.
Scary a little bit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn right it is, man. Hell, man, we put our entire population in isolation for a year. And I think about isolation from a prison standpoint, right? You don't go to the hole. No. You go to the hole, you don't come out the same. You know? And we just did that to our entire fucking country for a short period of time. That's what's on the other end of that? What comes out on the other end of that? What mental health issues are going to come out on the other end of that, right? What family issues are we going to have, right?
Yeah. It doesn't seem like maybe that was taken into the consideration that it should have been, where some of these officials that are elected into there make those decisions. Well, they're not playing out all the sides.
I think they want to be saviors. We have the answer. We know what they want to, I think, be looked back on in history and say that they at least tried something, right? We did something, right? So, I mean, we can go to dinner. You fuckers can't. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, that's the worst, where they're out getting busted, getting their nails done or whatever, or going eating inside. Some of those people out in California, man.
Yeah.
That's why everybody's leaving that state. They can't trust those fuckers anymore.
Everybody's moving to Florida and Texas, man. We used to be the crazy ones, right? We're the crazy ones. They're all stupid. I'm a Florida native. I'm born and raised here.
Where are you?
I'm from a little town called Pine Hills.
Oh, you mean Crime Hills?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm from Orlando, man.
Okay, yeah.
Just kidding.
I did my early childhood in Pine Hills. And
Pine Hills, really?
Yeah, then
Where'd you go to high
Ocoee.
school?
Then Ocoee after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that where you went to high school? Okay.
Yeah, West Orange.
Cool.
West Orange.
It that made me lose my Florida. Well, what is it? I'm from Florida. My whole family's from. I'm a second gen Floridian. Like, there's so much shade that seems like Floridians get. What is it? I mean,
jealous? I don't know. That's what my ass wants to say. I was like, we have all the great seasons. We don't have the ones that suck.
Yeah, the winters.
We got water on 3 sides. We got beaches any side you go to. What's to hate, man? I mean, other than there's going to be some serious racism down here for sure. Right? But you can find that just about anywhere you go. But it is a different life here. People wear flip-flops and shorts and Hawaiian shirts, you know, on a Tuesday or out to eat, you know. It is a free life down here in a certain way, right? There's a carefree lifestyle here because we spend time on the beaches. We spend time on boats, right? Or in the woods. Not all of us, right? But we do. I think we just get shit for it, man. We get shit for it. And typically if people talking shit about you is because they're jealous of you. They want to be you.
I haven't thought of it that way, man. It probably is a little bit of jealousy. If you're living in like the frozen, where I hate cold weather, man. I'm not a fan of it. No. But I couldn't imagine, like, I feel like I'd be angry if I was trapped inside all the time and can't go out, or I gotta scrape ice off my car.
Kidding me? Oh.
Jealousy, man. That's probably why Florida gets so much. I mean, there's crazy stuff that happens in Florida. There's crazy stuff that happens everywhere. But,
where in Orlando were you from?
It's called Lake Nona now, but it used to be Narcoossee. So when I grew up out there, it was called Narcoossee. Dirt roads and stuff, man.
Yeah,
so,
good fishing out there. Good freshwater fishing out there. That's when I left Orlando. One of the reasons I left Orlando, man, is I grew up fishing, and whether it was Pine Hills or Ocoee, it didn't matter, man. You could find a lake anywhere, and we were crazy, right? You probably did it. We'd wade up in the water to, waist deep, moccasins and stuff around, right? We didn't think about it. I was invincible, dude. I was like, whatever. Right. We fished doing that. We grew up, staying out in the woods for a long time. We did that, and I tried to go fishing. I think the last time I was there was like 2016 or some shit. I can't remember. And I tried to just find a lake and go fishing. I'd grab my pole, I'd grab my June bug worm, right? And I'm in the car and I'm like, just show me a fucking lake. I can't get to a lake. Houses surrounded, gated communities, or it's gone. They've fucking moved it over and put it in a subdivision somewhere. Yeah. And I'm like, I can't even fish anymore around this shit. I used to be able to just go out and catch a couple bass, and throw them back and go home,
Be done with it.
Yeah, and I got to sneak through some gated subdivision, you know what I mean? Yep. Halfway on somebody's yard, and I'm getting yelled at, right? Because I'm,
Spot you probably used to go when you were a kid. Yeah. That's why you left Orlando? That's why you...
That started kind of like, it's not my same town. It's not my same town.
You fish much up here? Being in New Smyrna, man.
Yeah, I'm a kayak fisherman, man.
Are you really?
Yeah, I did a lot of spearfishing and lobstering in the Keys.
Okay. Did you live down there? Oh, yeah, you were on your walkabout down there, right? Yeah. Did you live down there permanently for a little while also?
About 2-3 months, something like that. But I used to go there. It was one wonderful thing my dad would do us. They were some of the worst vacations ever because he was terrible on the boat. He was scary. He threw my brother off a boat once. Like it's fucking nuts. Dang. It was not cool, man. Yeah. But I still found the fun in it. Yeah. And I learned how to spearfish. I learned how to lobster. I learned how to offshore fish. I could first mate and second mate offshore on a boat easily. And I love doing that shit. I love the salt water more than the fresh. Yeah. Now I'm a kayak guy. I kayak fish the most I can.
Awesome, man.
I love that shit.
I didn't fish for like 20 years. I was a big freshwater fisherman as a kid. And then, obviously I'm doing this podcast now, but my other thing is my YouTube channel. I've got like 50 fishing episodes out. Yeah. So I'm filming all this fishing, doing all this fishing all the time. I gave it up for 20 years, working, chasing money, other different reasons. But getting back to it when I had some time, the mental clarity of being outside and with a challenge. You're trying to get these fish to bite. I'm a big artificial guy, trying to get these fish. You mentioned June bugs, trying to get these fish you're trying to trick them. It's more of a mental game, and it's harder than people think, especially if you're trying to catch bigger fish and stuff like that. But fishing has been a big part of my growth over the last 6 months, man. Just being able to focus on something to try to get better at like that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, man. I lived in Marco Island for a little while.
Oh, did you?
Love it down there, man. And some of the best kayak fishing. I would go out there for 2 or 3 days at a time. I'd plot a course and I'd go out and just paddle, catch some food, sleep on the beach, always checking weather constantly, ride the tides out, ride the tides back. Yeah. And I got to do that down there, man. Sick. And I just loved it. The fishing was amazing down there in Marco for a while, man. Yeah. But no, I left Orlando for a lot of reasons. But that was sort of where that walkabout started, right? When I bounced out of there and I went to the Keys as a laborer. I went to, circling all the way back. Well, I went to Chattanooga for a little while. Okay. I went out to the Acoma Pueblo in Sky City.
Where's that?
It is New Mexico. Okay. Yeah. Old Chiricahua and Apache land. Wow. Stayed out there for a while. Wow. And had some, I call them visions or whatever. I had some moments out there.
Yeah. And then you doing peyote or ayahuasca?
No.
Or? Okay.
No.
Just checking.
Yeah. Sober as shit.
All right. Okay.
Now, since then, me and psilocybin have had some fun.
We'll save that one. I'd love to get into that with you. But keep going.
But we just had changes and stuff, man. And I found my way back to Orlando. And, it'd be cliche to be like, I wanted to come back and help people. Like, no, fucking I didn't. I wanted to come back and just be different. I'm just like, all right, I'm out of that. I started coaching flag football at the YMCA. Wow. I took some skills and was a personal trainer at Planet Fitness. Okay. I took stupid little jobs. I took a retail job at Bass Pro Shops, Retail, yeah, dude, all the things I hadn't done, you know what I mean? I'm like, I was doing the best I could. I had developed such a thick-headed ego, an arrogance, and like a naive arrogance, and I realized that because the number one thing they used to call me in high school was conceited. They loved to call me conceited. That was just, but they had no idea that I had to put on a face of I am the shit, so I didn't kill myself. I was suicidal as fuck, and so I would walk around like I was the shit. I sold myself on I'm the shit all the time. I'm the shit. Man, I'm good looking. I chased way too many girls in high school, right? I was way too hypersexual in high school for the age, man. And that arrogance, that conceitedness was a tool I used to survive. So I used that same tool in arrogance and confidence. It's all the same shit, right?
Thing, yeah.
But he has confidence. It sounds better, right? Right. But,
Sounds less arrogant.
right. It does. Right. It does. And so I use that confidence in the drug world. I use that confidence in the nightclub business, right? And so I had built up this ego that was, but you're not going to tell me it doesn't work because look at me, man.
It worked for you.
Yeah. Like, come on, man. Like, come on. I'm a partner in a fucking nightclub, or I was the best VIP manager, the highest grossing bar manager at one point, right? I'm at after parties. I'm hanging out with celebrities, right? You know, I'm doing coke with fucking cool ass people, you know, or God forbid, I'm sitting on $250,000 in coke money in a couple months, right? You can tell me it doesn't fucking work, right?
Yeah.
And so I was out trying to crush that, doing things that I was above. Retail, laborer, digging holes, you know what I mean? Doing shit like that. And just sort of doing my best to crush that shit.
Strip that ego away from yourself a little bit.
Yeah, dude. When I started working at Planet Fitness, I forgot that 2 of the cocktail waitresses that used to work for me worked out there. And when I'm this dude behind the counter, and I would see him coming once, or the first time I saw him coming from outside, I'm like, oh shit. Dude, I bounced. I went to the locker room, dude. And
they couldn't see you working there?
I saw him coming in, so I went and hid in the locker room, dude. I hid in the locker room. Where did Adam go? I don't know. I hid in the locker room until they went to leave, man.
Damn.
And I'm like, they can't see me like this. This is terrible.
You were embarrassed of working there?
Yeah. I mean, dude, my fall from grace. You know, holy shit. Who is this guy?
Yeah.
You know, no. And then I'm in there going, what the fuck? This is the reason you're doing this shit.
Right.
You know, then eventually I was like, all right, I know they come in on Tuesday or whatever this time. And I'm back out front. I check them in. Hey, how you doing? Right. Wave the little wand. Walk right past me. Didn't even fucking recognize me.
Oh, man. So it's all in your head.
All in my fucking head, man. All in my fucking head, man. Then I was trying to obliterate all those things all those tools that worked for me. I was trying to obliterate and blow out of the water, man.
But you must have been gaining new tools to use as you were going through these new experiences.
I learned how to question my shit. I'd say that. I learned how to question my own bullshit. You know what I mean? And I still struggle with that, man. I mean, many of my friends call me the king of bullshit. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I'm not hiding from that shit, man. That's what led me into doing comedy, right? King of bullshit.
Is that your name, King of Bullshit?
No.
Oh, okay.
I call myself that shit.
Got it.
At least I'm aware of it, right? You know?
Yeah.
But that works though, right? I mean, it's bullshit in corporate, like you said, too, to put on the face and the mask. It's just this constant life of bullshit,
Hands
right?
down.
I just got a platinum tongue, right? I can talk a motherfucking anything, right?
It
Including
works.
myself.
It works. If you're trying to accomplish, I don't know, I hate to say it like this, but if you're good with your words and you're kind of careful with how you carry yourself, whether it's bullshit or not, you can achieve what it is you're trying to achieve. And I think for me, it was recognizing that, and this is going to sound bad, but if I wanted to manipulate somebody, I could do it, man. I could, with my words, I could manipulate the individual in front of me. And that was heavy for me. That made me not like myself. And that's part of the reason for wanting to make some big changes. It was like, shit, man. Like, I don't like myself right now because of some of the things that I've done. And again, I hate to keep coming back to kids, but they made me realize that, you know, that shit, like maybe you're not a good person in the realm of how I want to be a good person.
Damn. Yeah, see, that's a level up, man. That's deep. That's deep to question those things, man. You know, and that's kind of why I question that same bullshit in myself, right? Is I can sell myself anything, including myself, and I can talk myself into shit. But in the same sense, right? What were people telling Francis Ngannou when he had a dream of being a fighter, right? It's bullshit, man.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And he's selling himself. I will one day. I'll get out of this fucking town. I'm going to be a champion or whatever I want to be one day, right? So any dreams that people have out there, they're selling themselves on bullshit.
Right.
Because you aren't that yet.
Yeah.
So you are bullshitting yourself that you are going to be this famous comedian and you're going to be this wonderful mother, right? If you're not already, right? You're bullshitting yourself along till you get there.
Sure.
Right? They just call it believing in yourself.
Oh, that believing / bullshit in yourself.
Yeah, just believing in yourself.
Interesting.
Right. It's bullshit, believing, arrogance, confidence, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
different words meaning the same thing.
Fucking book out there will fuck your mind up, man, called Tyranny of Words.
Tyranny of Words. Okay.
Just don't get too deep in it, people, if you read it out there.
Yeah.
Just read it from the outside because
Okay.
it'll start fucking you up. You know what I mean? Like we're learning
I like
here.
stuff like that, though, man.
Yeah.
I like stuff that make me think differently.
That
you
book
know?
is a trip. Man.
Okay.
That's a trip because it's
I'll
like,
check that
look,
one
what are we doing by saying arrogance, narcissism at another level,
Yeah.
confidence on one level?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are we really doing
words,
with that?
man.
It depends on how I use it, right?
Right.
So, but it's all mean the same shit. You know, bullshit, belief, right? So, but if I say belief, it's something else, right? Hell, I wrote a whole book about how beliefs shape what you think and how you think what you do and believe, right? Right? Do I say bullshit has shaped what you think, right? Right? I mean, it's fucking true, man.
Yeah, man. But seeing it for yourself, you know, I think you mentioned that a few different times, and I think that's what people, if they realize more things about themselves, get to that point to where they can realize that either they're lying to themselves, they're feeding themselves their own bullshit. I think that's how you grow. Getting to that point of understanding yourself better. You know?
I think, well, maybe understanding where we are presently, right? But continuing to be the scientist researcher of our own lives, right? You don't want to bring in research bias, right, to your own life as I'm studying myself in an experiment, right? And all right, I'm aware I can be an asshole, right? I'm aware I'm pretty selfish sometimes. All right, I'm still watching this. Doesn't mean I am a selfish person or I am an asshole, right? I all right, I can work on this. It's the constant, like, learn to become an observer of your life rather than a responder, right? So observing your life from the outside and instead of just reacting. That's who I am. Reaction. That's what I do. Reaction. I hate that. Reaction. I hate you. Reaction. I love it when that happens. Reaction. We're reacting to our lives, right? That's just who I am. Instead of observing our life, being slow to the speech, right? Said from me, right? Being slow to the speech of kind of going, all right, what the fuck am I doing here? All right, what's this experiment? Let's watch and observe what happens. Right. Observing ourselves, right? And awareness doesn't always bring change, you know. And we talk about change, but people got to want to change. Right. Without that, you and I are talking shit. You know, without that, it's bullshit. Because they're like, I love my life. You know, I love my life. And dude, I was telling you before we got started, sometimes I wish I didn't open up Pandora's box, bro. Really? Sometimes.
Why?
It was so much easier.
Easier.
It was easier, bro.
Then you just be like everybody else, taking the easy route, man.
I know, but at times, dude, like, it's hard not to find sadness through seeking knowledge constantly. I do warn people and tell them to be aware of that. A constant chase of knowledge, many times we lose simple meanings. A simple life or a feeling. You know, when I first started falling down these rabbit holes of, wait, truth isn't truth, it's perception, and the example, what's a hot dog made out of? Really? You know, what the fuck? When I started going down, I'm not the guy you wanted at your barbecue, bro. So I'm like, do you know what that hamburger's made out of? Do you know how much palm oil is in that bread? Do you know palm oil is actually erasing our rainforest and killing orangutan? Right? Do you know? I became that, and my head's inside. Do you know? Like, do you know the 9-to-5 life that you're living has been sold to you that you could actually do? Right? I've become this fucking asshole, right? And they're like, dude, you want a hamburger? Right?
I get it.
You know? And then the more you go down that knowledge hole, it's hard to just simply step back and appreciate, you know, a good view. You know, because now you're questioning, is this view a good view because society has told me a sunset is beautiful? And so as I believe a sunset is beautiful based on society's what a sunset means or a sunrise is, right? Then you're like, Jesus Christ, right? You go down this hole of questioning fucking everything. You know, I hate to use this, but because it'll start a whole nother topic, but I think there's a reason that Eve ate from the tree of knowledge. Why? You know, the way they shape it as knowledge in the story. Now, mind you, that story's been shaped more than likely. It was really a mushroom that they ate, right? Because the mushroom revealed the knowledge, right?
Same thing with Moses in the burning bush, and a lot of those stories they
were on mushrooms, right? They're on drugs, right?
Some sort of psychedelic,
something, right? But I think it's crafted that way, right? And one, to shape society of, say, they ate from the tree of knowledge, the tree of knowing, right? And so be careful with knowledge. It doesn't always make it better, right? You know, I think about, and I know for the most part it's fictional. All right, let's just say Adam and Eve is fictional as far as we know. Right. All right, but in that fictional tale, their life prior to knowledge seemed pretty fucking amazing. Yeah, it seemed pretty fucking cool. Real similar to Native Americans in a way. Now, mind you, they ravaged each other too. It was. But imagine that life, right? Of not knowing, not a guilt idea, right? They did not know naked, right? Just a quote from it, right? So, as the more we learn, the more we progress. The more knowledge we get, we have iPhones, right? The more knowledge and wisdom we get, we have nuclear weapons. The more we gain knowledge or technology, we have too many people, right? We have crazy diseases because we have too many people, right? I mean, so the more we progress or gain knowledge, the worse it seems to get. I mean, think about your daughter, right? How old is she?
6.
6. What's her name?
Zoe.
Zoe? I love that name. So 6 years old, probably around that age too. So that age when she just spun around for no reason and loved it. Or when everything was the coolest fucking thing. You could buy them the greatest toy and hand them a bottle. And they're like, I like the bottle more. Right? And the child lives in the fucking now. You know? And I write that in my book too about returning to that state of childhood where everything is fucking fascinating. Everything, but that child doesn't know shit. That kid doesn't know a fucking thing. And truthfully, is pretty useless. Can't work, can't hunt, can't bring in money. The child can't do anything. Right? Does that child have value? Damn right it fucking does, right? But to return to that childhood state again, you know, of not knowing. The kid doesn't know. That for me is fucking beautiful.
Man.
And that's sort of why I question, is dementia really a disease?
I don't know what anxiety is. You know, I haven't spent the time that you have, you know, in some of these clinical terms of people's mind. But for me, it seems that I think some of that might be caused by some people living too much in the past or too much in the future. They forget about what is going on and how lucky you are to have this moment right now, that might be what causes some people's, not mental disorders, but in their head what might be a mental disorder. Because that struck with me when you said that, because I tell my kids this and I try to live for myself. Live for today. Tomorrow's a luxury and you can't do anything about yesterday. You can learn from it. You can move on past it. And hopefully you don't, if it's a mistake, you don't make the same ones over and over again. But today's the most important. What's right in front of you, to me, has always felt like what's the most important. Does that make sense a little bit? Where if people... you talked about people being too much in the past. If you're too much in the past or too much in the future, I think that causes a problem on your present.
What they say, and I'm no longer a practitioner, right? But what practitioners tend to say is that anxiety lives in the future, depression lives in the past. Right? And so whatever you're experiencing, you try to pull those together, escape one or the other. And then I'll tell you some shit I really haven't told many people. When I was a practitioner and I was in a clinical setting or a private setting, and I worked with people with anxiety, I was I was way too matter of fact. Just do this. It's only this. It's that. This is where it's linked to. These are the thoughts. These are the behavior patterns. Just apply this stuff, right? I was not very empathetic. I was sympathetic to what they were experiencing, but not empathetic toward it, and pretty hardcore coming at it. Having experienced severe anxiety in 2018, fuck, man. And I'm the Cognitive Rampage guy, right? It doesn't happen to me. This can't fucking happen. Yeah, man. And has affected me pretty hard. It's probably one of the toughest battles of my motherfucking life, man.
Really?
But beyond the childhood, all this other stuff, it has been the hardest fucking, fuck that. It's been the hardest battle of my life. It is to date, right? I still battle that.
Where does that battle come from? I mean, obviously you look at yourself a lot more than it seems like most people do.
Probably too much introspection.
Too much introspective leading to your own anxiety.
Yeah.
Shit, dude, that's heavy.
And traumatic experiences, be that subjective or not. I mean, I've been in multiple shootouts, been nicked before.
Have you really?
Right? I mean, things that, and shout out to the best therapist and the best friend and best mentor in the world, Leo D'Anibal. I've mentioned him in my book a lot. The greatest counselor to ever exist on the planet. I love Leo. Has helped me kind of through these things, and he kind of pointed out, like, Adam, do you fucking know the life you actually led, the shit that you've been through? most normal people, one of those things happens to them, and they have serious issues, man. It's like from your childhood issues all the way through the life you led through that. And it was 2 months ago. Yeah, I think 2 months ago, somebody tried to rob me at a gas station. My tire went flat. It was 2:30 in the morning. I was driving back from a comedy show over in Ocala. Got a flat tire, trying to get the tire off. My crowbar breaks on it, right? Long story short, I'm waiting on, AAA to come out or whatever. And it's 2:30 in the morning. The gas station shut down. The Chevron on 44 right up there. Black truck, 4 Hispanics get out of the black Tundra and just sort of start toward me. You usually know who's got the weapon. The one who's staring at you, moving kind of slow. The other ones are kind of erratic, kind of start looking at my car like that. One of them comes up and grabs the passenger handle on that side. And I'm like, and I'm strapped, I'm strapped. And I'm like, all right, here goes, man. Got to do what you got to do. They leave, right? They leave. That sort of brought some stuff back too, I didn't mean to go on left field.
No, you're good.
But
that brought back some of the same stuff you're talking about.
Well, things I didn't really realize, right? But in 2018, it started for me, man. Some people know that I've been on Joe Rogan's podcast, right?
Yeah.
And that happened. It was a blessing and a curse at the same time. I was fired from both of my therapist jobs within an hour of getting off that podcast.
Really?
Yeah. Because I told the fucking truth, man. And
it got you fired.
Yeah. And then I slowly was blackballed about being able to practice. And that's when I went harder. That's when now I'm a podcast, I'm kicking out. I kicked out the second book. I just went harder. Upset at that happening, but upset because I told what so many practitioners know. And and shout out to the ones that sit in those trenches and still help, but they fucking know it. 70% is paperwork, 30% is practice. It's berated, right? I've done 100 podcasts on it, but anyway, it started back then because my marriage began to fall apart after that. I spent all my time podcasting and writing my books. And I was this guy on a rampage going, people aren't recognizing what's happening here, And so my marriage sort of shut off, man. And when my marriage did end, I sort of lost my stepdaughter at the same time. Didn't know what I was doing for money. Finances were fucked. All of that just kind of bobbled up. And then by 2018, my marriage was over in 2016. By 2018, it was finally going to court to end the whole thing. Dude, I could not drive alone. I couldn't walk down the fucking beach by myself. And I'm no bitch, you know what I mean? And I'm no bitch.
Fear of
dying. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I went to the hospital 5 times in 3 months. Wow. Sure, I was going to have a heart attack. No, I was dying.
Wow.
It got so bad, brother. I would have shakes, man. Like shakes for 30 minutes like that. And I'm going, hold up, man, I'm a hard motherfucker, dog. Like, this don't happen to me, man. Like, I know this stuff. Like, I know what's happening. I experience it, right?
Wow.
I wanted to be brain cancer so badly.
You wanted a reason?
Fuck yeah. This can't be anxiety. Yeah. Dude, I got test after test. I blew all my money on scans and MRIs and heart things and checking. And I never... Good news was never so shitty to me. You know what I mean? They're like, your lungs look great, your heart looks great, the brain looks fine, MRI looks good. I'm like, fuck, what are they missing? I'm like, it's got to be something else. I wanted it to be a medical problem so bad other than anxiety.
Wow.
Because you think you know what it is until you have it. I studied it. I learned it.
Yeah.
I wrote about it.
Yeah.
And then when you have it, you're like, what the fuck?
Does that give you another level of maybe empathy that you didn't have?
That gave me the empathy.
That gave you the
to
empathy
look back
that you were missing.
And go, Jesus. Like, wow. Then I jokingly would say I would take depression over anxiety all fucking day.
Okay.
All day.
Yeah.
And those 3 months, dude, were rough, dude. I'd try to go out to eat. I'd be out to eat like 10 minutes. I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Wow.
I gotta fucking leave. I gotta stop. I mean, I quit smoking weed at the time. I quit everything. I was worked out like a motherfucker. I applied everything that you're supposed to do, right?
It didn't work.
Nothing, man. Wow. Nothing. It was time. And my advice to anybody that experiences severe anxiety or is going through that is very, very simple. Go anyway. Your mind wants to tell you to stay home. It wants you can't do that. Someone tried to convince me I just need to accept it and learn to live this way. And I was like, fuck you.
That ain't going to work.
Yeah, fuck you. She's like, I've had severe anxiety for almost 10 years of my life. You just learn to live and accept it. And I'm like, fuck that. No. And those 3 months were terrible for me, man. And talking about fucking humbling, man.
Yeah.
I was invincible my whole life, you know? And then this shit knocked me down. Like,
damn. In the world that you've been spending a large majority of your life learning.
Yeah. Wow. But I think a lot of that had to do with it. Was learning all of this shit that has no answers.
Gave you anxiety.
Yeah. Wow. Down the physical world. It's too much introspection, too much asking why of myself.
Interesting.
Too much personal growth.
Yeah.
And no one's pointing that out because it sells their books and it sells their fucking courses online and it sells their supplements.
Yeah.
And so
there is a level of too much.
Yeah. When does, and I posed this question on a couple podcasts of mine, when does a point of diminished return happen when the anxiety or the raised cortisol levels of I can't eat this, I got to eat this, the research of this is the new science, I got to be in the sauna, I got to make sure I get sun, I got to have, when does that counteract the cortisol levels of the stress when you aren't doing that or you forget to do that or trying to remember to do that? When does that counteract and it becomes negligent? Right? To where you're not doing anything. And most science tells you that eating healthy most of your life really only adds about 3% to your life. Working out and doing all this, 3%. That's about what you got to add to your life. Right? The best things to do are remove the things that are bad for your life. You know, be that smoking cigarettes or drinking every day.
Alcohol,
right? Right. But doesn't sustain it that much longer, right? Most of it's a genetic based idea that's eventually going to kill you. Right. So I thought it was probably a culmination of most of that. You know, was I just went through shit and I was like, fuck it. That's what you do. I'll go through that. Yeah, I survived that shit. So what? You know, yeah, there was quotes traumatic, but traumatic's subjective. Yeah. Right? A traumatic subjective, Adam. A lot of people have been in shootouts. A lot of people have totaled 3 cars and been knocked unconscious. A lot of people have gone through that shit, right? A lot of people feared for their lives for 3 months, like the guys you used to get product from are going to murder you and your family one day. A lot of people have been through that thought, right? A lot of people. It's fine. No worries, right?
Live with it.
Yeah, live with it. Right? That's what you do. You tough it out. Right? And so at being 39 years old now, almost 40, I got diagnosed with COVID. Fucking, I'm now 4 weeks out from testing negative. Yeah. And fuck, dude.
Did it knock you out or?
Just, it ain't the flu. At least it wasn't for me. Some people, 24 hours in and out, fucking happens. That fucking happens. Right. But dude, man, I couldn't, day 1 and 2, light cold symptoms, never got fever. I was like, oh, I'm going to kick this shit. You know, I'm good, right? I'm on my course to 10. I'm on my zinc, right? I'm taking all my right shit.
You in the sauna?
Oh, yeah, right. And I'm like, I got this shit, right? And by day 3, though, son, holy shit. I had vertigo so bad. Really? I couldn't walk. Like, I'm dizzy as fuck. Like, I'm up and the world is spinning. Damn. And fatigue, my heart rate would be 120, 130 just getting the mail. I go to walk, get the mail. I'm like, what the fuck? I had the oximeter that I was just checking, make sure my O2 levels never go down. Yeah. Dangerous levels, you know. Yeah. O2 stayed up pretty good, but my fucking heart rate was nuts. So where it was me on the bed, bro. 6 fucking days. Damn. And I'm top of the 3. And I mean, some people got it worse and died, right? But the mental shit for 9 days of isolation, thinking you're going to die for a guy that is only 2 or so years out of some severe anxiety. Motherfucker. Fuck you. It kicked me back. Wow. And then for this is the first week. For 3 weeks straight after that, same symptoms. Tested negative. I try to walk my dog, bro. I'm halfway walking my dog, and I'm like, couldn't fucking breathe. I mean, I got a heavy bag in my house. I got a whole gym set up. Can't touch it. Yeah. Can't touch it.
Even still.
My hope is to work out this week.
Okay.
Right now I just walk my dog, take on the beach, and my heart rate
light stuff.
Yeah, heart rate staying low. Okay. Got a crazy craving for junk food. Really? For like 3 weeks, son.
Just murdering some junk food.
Dude, I was shredded back down to 198. COVID hit me, and now I'm back to 205, right? 208. Man. But I talked to a friend of mine who's a surgeon. And he had COVID, and he had these symptoms for 2 months, even after testing negative. Really? And he's like, and he's Mr. Healthy, bike rider, surgeon, vitamin fucker, right? And dude's like, Adam, I put on 20 pounds. And I'm like, why? He's like, I crave junk food. He's like, that's all I wanted. And I'm like, me too.
You don't hear about that side
No,
effect.
they're not saying
one's
it.
Talking about
that's
that.
all I wanted.
Wow.
And I'm like, I know my body. If that's what it fucking wants, I'm going to give it that. I'm giving it. I'm thinking maybe the poisons and the processed shit it needs, maybe it's helping fuck that shit up.
counter fighting it.
Whatever you tell yourself, right? I was I'll take all of that dark meat fried chicken. I'm going to eat all of that mac and fucking cheese. Oh, man, it was McDonald's breakfast, son. It was Arby's sandwiches. I was
Some comfort food.
That's what somebody tried to tell me. They was like, well, it's just comfort food, right? Making you feel better. I'm like, no, bitch.
It was really helping you.
My body's going to give that to me.
Yeah.
It wanted so many carbohydrates. It was ridiculous. I pounded down so much pasta. And I'm usually no carbs, no sugar at all. And I'm pounding pasta, son. I'm just like, fucking yes, all of that fettuccine Alfredo is going away right now. And I'm like, if that's what it wants, I'm going to give it that. Yeah. And so I stayed that way, kept taking my vitamins, but I kept eating like shit. I slept. Sleep was so important. I would sleep the best I could. And this is the first week now where I've had a conversation and I'm not out of breath. Like I'm just be talking to somebody on the phone, walking my dog like regular. And
out of breath.
Kind of do that in the talk. This is the first week. So shout out to Arby's.
A nice plug.
Right.
Man, but COVID, it's 100% a thing, like you said a second ago. People are dying from it. People are experiencing it in different ways, and it's a shame. It's a shame. But I think it could teach some people a thing or two. Like some of that stuff you mentioned, no one knows about that. No one knows about sauna usage and vitamin D exposure and some of this stuff that can. It seems like it can help you not just from COVID, but from the flu and a lot of other life. Exactly. So, bummer that you got it, man.
Yes and no. Because I am free for 3 months. Science tells me for 3 months I'm in the clear.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh, God, has my life been free. Other than the fact of not being able to breathe very good.
Sure.
Other than that shit, I'm free as fuck. People are like, you need to put a mask on. I'm like, seriously? I can't infect you.
Had it.
Yeah, you're safe as fuck.
You can't infect me. I can't infect you.
Right. Now they're showing actually 6 months for some, 3 months for sure, 6 months for some. Now new research I saw coming out of UK was showing an under 13% chance of reinfection at all, just no matter the strain. And I'm going, all right, okay, reinfection certainly is possible. Most of those studies have been done on frontline workers that have been reinfected, that are exposed to large amounts, viral load constantly, right? So you're seeing that. So there's a part of me that's like, I got it, and I lived so far, right? And blessed to that, man. I went to the cardiologist last Thursday just for the breathing, just to get checked out.
Just to be sure.
Yeah, man. And CT scan the lungs came out good. Lungs look fucking good. No blood clots, no none of that. And I'm like, whew, right? It feels good. But man, that mental fucking stress of 9 days, that's the fucker.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, I can't breathe very well or whatever, but that's some anxiety. I've kind of been there before. But you mix anxiety with those symptoms. Yeah. Jesus.
And the laying in bed and not being able to
no social connection. I can't talk to anybody. I'm in isolation for 9 to 10 days.
Wow.
It's just it's not for some people. It's not fake. Right. It's not bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they call it something. I don't know. I mean, conspiracy theories can take you down.
Well, you can go down crazy rabbit holes on that side, man. But
my point is it brought back some of the anxiety I thought I had beat.
Yeah. The anxiety that came from maybe too much knowledge,
Part of it.
That one still, man, the too much on the knowledge side can cause you anxiety. That one still resonate. That's an interesting thing to warn people, coming from a guy that's spent a long time trying to learn that stuff.
I warn people, man, too much introspection, because there's no fucking answer. It's all subjective.
Right.
And you start to question your reality.
Yeah.
And I went through 6 months of a weekly psilocybin treatment, 4 to 7 grams. Like, I've been down the hole, man. Like, and kept doing it once a week for like 6 months. So maybe it made me crazy. I don't know. Yeah. maybe it pushed me.
Yeah.
I would say that.
I've one time I've done psilocybin, and I blame Joe Rogan. 100%. It's Joe Rogan's fault. The reason why I've taken it, but I had to know. I've smoked weed for probably 15 years maybe. I waited till after I was 18. I think I was 19 the first time. Something in my head, I was like, I gotta let my brain keep developing. I don't know if I thought that then. I think that now. Sure. But I don't know if I thought that then, but it makes sense. But I've done it one time, and just to see, and it opened up my eyes, man. It's not what people think it is. 100%. I think a lot of stuff is like that. It's not what people think it is. But the feeling of I've always had a hard time with love. I don't understand it. I didn't understand it. I thought it was just something that people invented. I come from a loving family, man, huge family. It was a weird thing for me. I remember talking to my mother saying that, I don't know if love's a real thing. This was I was probably 25, 26, something like that. But something with psilocybin, it made me feel it more than I've ever felt it, for sure. Yeah. It's just this overwhelming feeling of just loving everything, man.
Sure.
Yeah, and
a belonging, maybe.
Maybe, I spent a lot of time outside. It's something that I think brings me back to reality of I'm just a speck is being outside, watching those sunrises you mentioned, or being in the ocean. I think I've read something. You and I share an addiction of being in the ocean, man. I think that you wrote somewhere. I read that about you. You like the ocean too, but for psilocybin, and exploring that a little bit, it was an interesting one, man, from a mental standpoint. This was recent. This was probably within the last, 2 weeks.
Oh, beautiful.
Super recent, man.
Dude,
Super
write
recent.
it down, man. I tell everybody, write your trip report down.
Trip report?
Yeah,
Okay.
write your trip report down, because we think we'll remember forever, but we don't.
Wow, okay.
And I always tell people, write it down. Like when you're done and that they come up the next morning, you know what I mean? Write your trip report down. Usually I've found that when the trip report is over, or when you're done, you're usually left with this one sentence. This one sentence is one mantra. Did you have anything like that? This one thing?
I'll tell you, my sister came by. And when I saw her, that's where it was just like this overwhelming feeling of like, shit, like I really love that person. And it was weird. And she asked me later, she's like, why did you think you loved me so much? I'm like, I don't know. It's just what came. That's what stuck with me is when I saw her. My kids weren't around. When they were staying with their grandparents that night, one of those situations. My wife was there, but it wasn't until my sister came by to where I was like, damn, like that's when it finally
social
hit
connection.
Me. Yeah.
A connection in something.
Yeah. Someone that's been around my whole life, but it took chemical or some substance to make me realize like, shit, I really do love this person. And this is somebody that has been there for forever, man. That's what stuck with me. That's what was heavy.
So it answered your question. Is love real?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. 100%. 100%.
Sometimes I realize when you take it, right, and you go into it more from a ceremonial standpoint, right? I used to tell people, you go into it and ask a question, going into it asking a question, and it'll be answered, right? Right? Go into it wanting something else, and it'll serve you what you're going into it for. If you want to eat mushrooms and go to a rave, it'll give you that. Sure. You can eat mushrooms, go to a rave, you'll see cool colors and trails and have a good time and feel awesome. It'll give you, I think it gives you what it knows you're looking for.
Right.
And so when you go to take it, it somehow knows to go, Stephen, you need to understand that love is real.
This is what you need to understand.
Yeah. It give you, you want to party? All right, eat some mushrooms, go to a rave. And you're like, woohoo, you have a great time.
It's not what I was looking for. I'm at my house. I want to be comfortable. I moved, man. I was in a 3,500 square foot house in Windermere. I got out of that. I'm in a 1,100 square foot house out in the middle of nowhere, man. So I'm back in this like fishing all the freaking time, you know. I literally spend... I take my kids to school, I pick them up from school. Anytime they're not in school, I fish or do a podcast. That's my life. Everything else is with them. That's been my main mission here. But doing that really opened up, man, that like my family's always been big to me, but that's interesting that, you tell people to come into that with a question. Yeah. I didn't come into it thinking that, at least, consciously. I wasn't like, oh, I need to answer this.
But that's what it gave. But it knew.
Yeah,
right? It gave it to you. It fucking knew. I used to allegedly, when I was in a practitioner, would treat some really tough cases on the side with psilocybin.
But that's a thing now. Like
now,
it's legal
it wasn't
in some
then.
States and medically legal.
Yeah, this was 2013, 14.
Okay. So you were ahead of that curve, man.
Yeah. I was, well, there were people way ahead of my shit. But before it got a social norm, right? Yeah. And there were, I don't know if I should say specific, but allegedly I may have been treating people that were not getting what they needed out of clinical services with psilocybin.
Okay.
And, I'm no monk. I'm no anything like that, right? So I probably shouldn't have been doing that shit. But I watched it fucking cure the uncurable, the quotes uncurable. Sure. I did amazing things. And then one time, I would eat a little bit with them, but I'm talking a gram. Okay. Just so I'm sort of feel like they're in the same connection with them. Type. Right. Yeah. And I would stage them. We would, go to 2, go to 3, kind of work that way, right? Okay. I always say go past 4 and go to 7 and go through the hole and blast out into the universe. I would go 7. I would go 7 deep. Okay. I go 7 deep. Yeah. And one time I was doing that, helping somebody allegedly, and just with the 1.5 something grams that I took, it floored me. It put me on the couch, and they yelled at me. I know it sounds fucking crazy. No. People, those that have experienced, right, whatever they was pissed off at me.
Really?
And was like, you don't fucking help people with this. You don't do this. This isn't your fucking job. You don't do, I got cursed at for like fucking 6 hours on the couch, man. I know this is nuts for people listening to, like, yeah, he's crazy. Right? I know, and he's crazy. But it's fucking true, man. And I was just like, holy shit. And I stopped doing that with people. I stopped going like, all right, I just wanted to help people at first because I knew this could help. Yeah. And I watched it help.
It helped you?
Yeah and no.
Yeah. Okay.
I probably went too far.
So there's a ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like most things.
Yeah. I was a lifetime weed smoker my whole fucking life, man. And then I think 2016, I just stopped. I just quit smoking weed.
What?
My body was rejecting it. I couldn't do it anymore. I would just smoke it and it would either be too high. You know, I think I hung on for another year or two lightly smoking, but I was smoking regs. I don't know if people remember what regs are.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I would literally, smoke just regs.
Some straight up dirt. Yeah.
That's it. None of that high test scientific bullshit.
All the medical stuff now, man.
It's fucking ridiculous. And so I just sort of stayed away from it. And but now that I went deep, man, pretty hardcore. In 2000, I was podcasting sort of. I don't call it podcasting. 2011, I had a Ustream. Right,
Okay.
No fucking microphone. You know, I had a camera. There was a thing called Ustream that was out back then.
Okay.
And I was working in clinical practice, and I was writing my book, working on my notes in my books, pretty heavy. And I was developing lessons that I would give, whether it was rational self-analysis, right? Things that are all in my book were started out as groups I would give and lessons I would give and talks. And so all I would do would go to Leo's private practice office at night and throw on the Ustream camera and give a lesson on rational self-analysis, right? And talk about something, whatever it was.
Okay.
And talk about that. That was in 2011. I really wasn't podcasting until 2014, 15. But I was doing the Ustream videos, right?
Okay.
And so in 2011, my buddy Sean Zernis, probably my best friend, turned me on to one of my best friends. I got to do that, otherwise the other friends are like,
people
fuck
be
you,
mad.
man.
I'm your best friend.
Right. He turned me on to this guy named Joe Rogan that had a podcast. Right. So I started listening to it, and I'm listening to this at the same time I'm a clinical practitioner in 2011, 12, 13. And I used to tell everybody, I'm going to be on that podcast. I told fucking everybody. I'm like, I'm going to be on that podcast one day, and I'm going to reveal all this chemical incarceration. That's what I would call it. Chemical incarceration bullshit.
Yeah.
This mental health fucking trap. I'm going to be on that show one day.
Chemical incarceration. So like from the prescription drugs that people. Okay, got it. Got it.
Some prescriptions does do amazing things.
Sure.
They do amazing things, but just the way they're utilized, I cover it pretty deep on Rogan's podcast. On my podcast, I've talked about it blue in the face.
Okay.
But some prescriptions, thank God we have them. They save people's lives. They help certain people, but the way they would go, basically, hi, nice to meet you. What symptoms do you have? Okay, it sounds like bipolar to me.
Take this script.
Yep. Boom. Here's
Just happened to my dad the other day. My dad's 58, and he goes in and he comes out with like 4 scripts and doesn't know what they're for. It's like,
because you need this one to counteract the side effects of this one.
he had 5 minutes with the damn doctor.
Yeah, but they know, right? They know. And some doctor that doesn't really do mental health looks at you and writes you an antidepressant description that may make you want to kill yourself. Like, it's fucking dangerous.
Jesus.
And they just throw shit out there, man. And it's a dangerous effect.
Chemical incarceration. That's what you called it?
That's what I was calling it back then. Yeah. And I was just calling it chemical incarceration. And I'm gonna tell all you motherfuckers, right? And I would get in trouble. I had my boss at one of the places, not Leo. He was my main boss, but the main boss wanted me to discharge a patient across the state of Florida to a tree that happened to have an address, but it wasn't to a tree. It was a known pickup spot for homeless shelters. They'd bring a bus by there sometimes and pick up the homeless if there was room in a shelter.
Okay.
But the guy ran out of Medicare days, so he couldn't pay to stay there anymore. So he's like, discharge him to this address. I'm like, it's a fucking tree, dude. I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not doing that. Yeah. I'm like, this isn't the comfort of care for someone that we're supposed to take. And he's like, he doesn't have any more days left. He needs to get out of here. And made me discharge him or lose my fucking job. It was shit like that was going down. You know what I mean? I'm watching psychiatrists that worked inside a hospital start their patients on medications, but also had their private practice for outpatients. So when the patient was released from inpatient and from outpatient treatment, and during outpatient treatment, had to see them in their office for their prescriptions. I'm going like, this can't be okay.
Yeah.
And then the pharmacy inside this particular location was owned by the facility.
Oh, jeez. So they got their hands in everything? Damn.
but it was
seems biased.
Yeah, but it was ran by a different company, right?
Sketchy.
They're currently the largest mental health addiction treatment facility, inpatient treatment in the state of Florida right now.
Wow.
Almost 24 locations, right? So it's not just this place, right? Brian Redband tried to crack a joke when I was on there. He's like, "You just mad at your boss or something?" Right? I was like, "That too."
A little bit of that.
But it's kind of everywhere,
Yeah.
you know? And Joe asked me on the podcast, is this everywhere? And I answered him like, I haven't done it in Boston. I haven't done that.
Right.
But in my travels now and research and reading, yes, this is how it gets done in Medicare treatment facilities. So yeah. And where was I going? Lost my train of thought.
When you met, or
chemical incarceration, and I said, I was going to be on Rogan. I'll connect the dots.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll be on Rogan. 2015 in July 2015, I go to California. I take my stepdaughter there. She was looking at a scholarship at Pepperdine for volleyball and shit, right?
Oh, cool.
So me and my ex-wife and her are out there, and we're traveling around, and we drop her off at Pepperdine to do her thing, and so we got some days. Well, I get my hands on some mushrooms. And we drive out to the Joshua Tree. That's what you got to do, right?
Oh, if you're in California, you got mushrooms, you got to go to Joshua Tree. Yeah.
There's this fucking motel that's there.
Yeah.
He knows. That's what I used to say the whole time when we were all fucked up. I'm like, he knows, right? It's a shanty motel, right?
Okay.
Right? But it's one of those old motor motels where it has the front door entrance and the back door entrance.
Okay.
It's kind of shaped like an L like this.
Gotcha.
The land next to us has about 200 toilets on it, just sitting in a yard. Just toilets.
Not an outhouse, just a toilet.
Just 200 of them. Just all lined up along.
Art show?
With a small chain link fence around it. That's
Okay.
it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. And we go to the hotel room. We pop through. I wish I remember the name of it. But it's literally right there. You come out of Joshua, the state park, make a right, and it's that first hotel right there on the right.
Okay.
And so I walk through the back. And in the back, he's made this, I don't know, toy play garden thing. Right, so it's blocked in by these tall trees, those tall wavy-looking pine trees. He's got it all blocked in as a wall.
Okay.
Right, the hotel kind of blocks it in this way. It's not very big, but he's got plastic light-up roses, little something gnomes and shit. It's fucking trippy. And during the day, you're kind of looking at it going, that's weird. But when you're on the shit, you're like, it's amazing.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah, he's got a two-person chair sitting this far from those tall wavy trees that he's got lights on. So you sit just watching the lights, man. Yeah. And so I go deep, my ex-wife goes deep with me, and we're playing in the clouds, or messing around mentally in the clouds, right? Playing around. And someone looked at me, and not looked at me, it kind of told me, I'm trying to remember exactly. I don't want to fuck it up. Something like, are you ready to say what you've been always wanting to say? Are you ready to do that?
Somebody
mission?
you knew or someone you met there?
No, just
okay.
Mentally.
Got it.
Yeah, just mentally. It's
in
like,
the clouds.
Yeah, in the clouds. It's like, are you really ready to say all these things you've wanted to be saying? Yeah. And I remember going, fuck yeah. Yeah, I'm ready. Whatever that means. Yeah, I'm ready. The next day, kind of wake up, take all the right pills, right, to feel better, right, all the natural things that you want to take. We got to pick up my daughter. The following day, we go to a Sublime Rome concert out in the theater, Red Rocks. Pick her up the next morning, drive to the Redwoods up north, hang out there, and I can tell my daughter's not having the best time, right? And she wants to go see Hollywood and Sunset and stuff like that. So I'm like, fuck it, let's get out of here, right? Leave the hotel early, drive down, pull up on Sunset. I'd already called because I'm a huge fan of comedy, so I want to see who was at the Improv. We were flying out Tuesday. We were there like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that's coming around Tuesday. Rogan was going to be at the Improv on Wednesday. So I'm like, oh well, I'll be gone. My flight's gone. I'll miss that. But I love comedy anyway, right? And we pull up on Sunset, park on Sunset across from the Improv. My daughter gets out of the thing and she points up. She's like, Rogan's here tonight. I went, what the fuck? That's cool. Now I have to sneak my 16-year-old daughter in, right, into the thing, right? But she's got a Pepperdine sweater on, right?
So you can get her in.
Bam!
Yeah,
and my club ears.
Oh, you got it.
I told him, like, just walk in like you belong there, like you've been there. Don't look for nothing. Don't just walk through. Yeah. Sure enough, let us through.
No ID, no nothing. Just let her in.
No idea. Walks. This is kind of the I guess how I got on Rogan's story.
Okay.
And I mean, crazy that, and what led me there were the psilocybin, the mushrooms.
Yeah.
Is I was eating.
Are you
that.
ready to? Yeah.
No, like, what the fuck, right? Yeah. I watched some comics and shit like that. Got to take a piss. And I'm going to the bathroom. Come out of the bathroom. I'm like, maybe he's over there. I'll say hello or whatever. Yeah. Popped up, started to walk close, and I'm maybe, I don't know, 10-something feet away, and he's talking to Dom Herrera, his wife, you know, kind of hanging. And I look, and I'm not that dude. I'm not like the fanboy fuck. You know what I mean? So I look, I'm like, fuck it. Yeah. And I go to walk back, and he goes, hey, man. Hey.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm like, what's up, man? What's going on? He's like, no, come say hi, man. What's up? He was nice as fuck. Yeah. And I went into a mode that I don't really remember. Huh. I hardly remember it. I just started talking about chemical incarceration and what's happening in addiction facilities. I don't remember what the fuck I said. I don't remember what came out. I just was saying these things. And I was just, that's what this is, you know? And I was like ready to say goodnight and goodbye. And he's like, can you do a podcast tomorrow?
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, I think so. Yeah. I was like, holy shit, this is fucking happening. Yeah. I've been saying it for 4 years. You've been
telling everybody that you're going to be on there.
For 4 years. I'm going to get this word out here. And my main reason was just get the word out there, you know, that this is what's happening, you know? Yeah. And yeah, man, I went back and I told my daughter, she's like, bullshit.
Oh, she didn't believe you.
No, it's like, quit lying, dude. Quit lying. I'm like, yeah, man. Yeah. But my flight was supposed to leave. I pushed my flight back.
Oh, of course.
And ended up going on Wednesday. And then, like I said before, I was fired from that job. I have some podcast remorse.
Yeah.
Technically, it was my first podcast I ever did.
Was with Rogan.
Yeah.
Your first podcast ever was with Rogan.
Yeah. I was doing Ustream where I'm
right. Yeah. But a real podcast, microphone set, everything.
And I walk in and it's live already with Nick DiPaolo and
There
Brian
can't be a lot of
Redband.
people that say that. Who was there?
Nick DiPaolo.
He's a comedian, right?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it, man. I know you've been on there, but I wanted to talk to you about it. I didn't want any preconceived notion. I wanted to talk to you about it specifically. But yeah.
Yeah, I got some podcast remorse from that shit.
Really?
Yeah.
About stuff you wish you did say or didn't say, or a little bit of both?
Both. It made it hard to talk about a concept or a field or an idea like that because I was with comedians. I'm with the great Nick DiPaolo, Brian Redband, and Joe. I'm sitting with 3 comedians, so the things you say in jest, trying to be funny, right, or whatever it is, come across differently. I spoke very rigidly. I spoke rigidly. My biggest fuck up is he asked me if Suboxone was just like heroin, and I said yes. The Reddit about me, because I said that, is not kind.
Why? Because it's not, or
no,
subjective? Okay.
Yes and no, right? They're not the same thing. People take Suboxone to get off of other drugs, right? Heroin, Oxycontin, stuff like that.
Okay, that's what that's for.
It's supposed to be for, right? Okay. It can be abused. Sure. It can be used in certain ways, right? But it is certainly not heroin.
But it could be as bad as heroin. Is maybe what a phrase did different? Is that the remorse? Like,
yeah, he asked me, and I said, yeah, same thing. There's a lot more science to that than a simple yes or no. Okay, and I paid for that shit. I paid for it pretty badly. It's a harm reduction treatment therapy is what they call it. You're supposed to take Suboxone for a little bit. It stops you from getting high on the heroin, right? So, but what I did leave out is 75% of overdoses are from mixing drugs. They're not from one drug. So when you are on Suboxone, then you do shoot up heroin, or you try to take something else, it can cause some issues. Now, again, I'm a fan of whatever works, right? So harm reduction is supposed to be you take the Suboxone for a while, it curbs the cravings for heroin, supposed to stop you from being able to get high sometimes. There's another thing they can do for that. And then you titrate off of that. You give you a little less, a little less, and a little less. But I came across not only patients, but other people that I knew would have to drive to other cities to get more Suboxone because they either couldn't get it or they took it all already or they sold it, right? You could buy Suboxone on the street at the time, just like if a guy had Oxys or Suboxone, what you want, right? So it too was an issue. But people that saw it as a harm reduction treatment and had saw some success with it, right? Or it has kept some people alive, as some people saw it, right? Since I've been on Suboxone, I haven't shot up, right? But you're on Suboxone for 5 years, right? You trade one for another, but you're right. At least you're not fucking dead, right? So the way I came across was it did not sound intelligent, and it didn't mention the science, and I have some fucking remorse about that. I have 2 other remorseful things that I say that obviously live with me.
Okay.
Obviously.
I can tell.
They do, man. Yeah. He asked me if addiction was a disease. And I straight up said no. And And then he even gave me a second chance. He's like, all right, well, let's forget the word disease, right? He tries to set me up again. Yeah. And I'm just like, no. And I think I responded as a behavioral option or a choice, right? Again, I took a very subjective, pretty scientific idea and painted it in a stroke of yes and no. And that negated any of my, what's the word? Not justification, but if somebody backs you up, help me out. Like if I get a doctor to sign on my thing, I now have...
Like signing off on you?
Yeah. I don't know why I'm losing the word.
Yeah, me too.
Credibility.
Credibility.
I lost all my credibility.
You lost your credibility by making it black and white.
In 2 answers. And yes, Suboxone's like heroin. And yes, no, it's not a disease. And those two, my credibility's out the fucking window. And I look like a douchebag. And I don't...
But there's got to be... Are there people that think that same thing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
They just don't want to say it?
They're afraid to. One, you can't say it if you're a practitioner because it's called the disease model of treatment. So addiction is the disease model of treatment. And they can grab, just like politics, they can grab their researchers and shit to point out how and why it's an addiction. The other side can do the same, right? And after a while, sure, a chemical response reaction happens within the brain, right? But then how come I'm not constantly on coke still, right? I am a living example of it's not a fucking disease, right? Because I was doing coke pretty heavy in my 20s, you know what I mean? So, there's an opiate receptor response, right? That sometimes it triggers it, right? Then the opiate receptor says that feels good, so more must mean better, right? Which is the, well, when I have one, I have to have 30. But if you're aware that that's the opiate receptor response, then you're choosing not to respond to your opiate receptor response. I have the same opiate receptor response, which usually comes through, trauma experiences and things. And if I have 1 or 2 beers, by the 4th, I'm feeling good. And I'm like, I need 14. But I know that. And now I know that's true. So I'm like, 4 is good, right? And that awareness, right? So there was many ways to go deeper in answering those questions. And it fucked my shit up. It fucked me up.
Shit, man, it's your first podcast ever, and to be in the room with those individuals. You mentioned comedy a few times. Obviously, if you're a fan of comedy, you're a fan of those individuals. That's heavy, man.
Rogan to me was like a virtual mentor in a way. And now I'm walking in, it's live. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? The first 5 minutes, I'm on halfway through. The first 5 minutes, I'm like, on the mic, and then I'm shaky as shit, right? And my book at the time, I've been working on the book since 2000.
So you had the book then?
Almost.
Okay.
So it was called Mastering Life Transitions. So when I was on the show, I called it Mastering Life Transitions and Chemical Incarceration Addicted to the Process. I was working on both of those 2 books.
Okay.
After I got off Rogan, I had possible publishing opportunities. So I took both of those books and with some advice, combined them. So I combined Addicted to the Process and Mastering Life Transitions and created the Cognitive Rampage. Okay. And I was, that name was sort of already present in what I was doing. Okay. And I waited and I put the book out April 2016, the first edition. After that, so I was waiting on publishing possibilities. Did somebody want to publish after the book? So I waited on it for a while. But yeah, man, I was a nervous wreck. And the last thing that I said, which will be a day that lives in infamy, to quote FDR, he asked me what cognitive rampage meant, like you did on the show. And it has a very clear, defined definition, which I sort of butchered today. But my answer was, well, when I talk, sometimes I get rampagey. God.
I can feel the remorse, man. I can feel it. Oh, man.
So much for your branding power, dog.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask you about the experience, without watching it. That was, in my head about coming into here. Yeah. That's not what I thought. I wouldn't have thought thered be the remorse. Yeah. You said there's positives and negatives. Like the publishing deal had to be helpful, or people coming to you for publishing, not the deal, but people coming to you with support based off being off that platform. Sounds like there's a little bit of that too.
Yeah. And what a fucking experience, dude.
What an experience.
The number one podcast in the world, and the only podcast I ever listened to at the time that I happened to tell people I was going to be on. And I got to deliver this message that needed to get out there. Yeah. And the Oxycontin Express was one of the first films that sort of started pointing this out before I was on there. We talked about it on the show. He recently had her on a couple of weeks ago. I forget her name. She does a couple cool shows and documentaries and stuff. Okay. But we talked about that for a little bit. And on the show, I said it. I was like, that started pointing the finger at this. And nobody was really talking about it, man. And I like to think that after that podcast, I started seeing it. I think maybe a year, like 2 years later. Yeah, 2 years later, I saw John Oliver Last Week and Tonight do one of their whole long, 20-minute things on the opiate epidemic. And I remember watching it going, it's fucking out there. It's fucking out there now. John Oliver's done a special on it. Oxycontin Express sort of started the awareness of this. I know there were other people out there. A huge, huge guy that pointed out problems in addiction, who was an amazing guy, Dr. Stanton Peele. Talk about a pioneer in questioning AA and NA, questioning whether it's a disease or not, proving in his methods that it is not. I've had Dr. Stanton Peele on the show, on my podcast twice, but he has been shunned. He's put out 14, 15 books because it doesn't fit the economic model and the research model of treatment.
That's what I was going to ask you. How much of this doesn't fit the economic model, the money-making machine that is big pharma and
the disease model of treatment?
Yeah.
A reactive medicine treatment, because I can't sell you vitamin C, man. I can't sell you that. I can sell you a vaccine. And I can sell you a prescription drug. Insurance companies are behind most of it. Insurance companies beat the shit out of these facilities. So these facilities have to try to stay alive by fighting back with insurance companies, and the people who get fucked in it are the patients that are in it and the practitioners that live in the trenches. That's who's getting fucked. And while the facilities they're still getting rich, but they are getting beat up. Insurance companies are trying to stop money from going out, which is not helping the patients at all, right? Which then makes the facility have to make choices that negatively affect the practitioners and the patients. So while these two fuckers are at war, the two people in the trenches doing the damn thing are getting fucked.
Yeah. The ones that are there looking for help.
Getting fucked royally. Especially the practitioners.
And this is what, when you were in the clouds, are you ready to say?
Yeah.
That's what you wanted to say.
Yeah, and that's what I put out there. I got on there and I'm like, it's crazy, man. And some of it's the patient's fault too. Patients know the system.
Right.
They knew the system better than some of the practitioners. They're like, I have 4 days. This will respond to here. I get my medication here. I'm allowed to do this. You can't say that to me, right? It
Part of the problem, for sure.
Yeah, damn Skippy.
Yeah.
But they're also placed in the system that was created, and they're finding a way around it,
Yeah.
And it didn't fit the economic system, man. And people are making millions on it. Nobody was talking about it. You lose your fucking job, obviously, right? And so I went hard, man. I went hard in the fucking paint.
Yeah.
Down some conspiracy lines with the idea of Suboxone, and the first pill they had was a cross on it, but they ended up pulling up a sword instead of a cross. And then I'm like, bullshit. It was a cross. I saw the fucking pills. It was a cross at first. I used to think it was a marketing meeting.
That was on the show?
Yeah.
You were talking about? Okay.
Yeah, Jamie pulled the shit up.
Oh,
Jamie,
get out of here.
right? And Joe Rogan's like, please show me a Suboxone pill with a cross on it. And it's actually, it's a sword now that's on it. But I'm telling you, it used to be a cross. And who's your number one clientele, baby? NA and NA. Yeah, faith-based treatment. So now, when it first came out, it was dubbed the miracle drug. Suboxone was, when it was in the orange pill. It was called the miracle drug. I was working in the clinics where people say it's the miracle drug. It saves lives, right? And they stamped a cross on it at first.
Wow.
That cross became a sword. And Jamie, who can find anything, couldn't find a picture of the orange one with a cross on it. So now I look like a conspiracy theorist, right?
Ah, okay.
So, there's a couple of things, but that's what's really happening. That's still happening today. There's no changes in that shit. It's not. It's why people go to rehab, get out of rehab, go to rehab, that's their entire fucking life.
Yeah.
And nobody was doing anything different. And so I'm like, fuck this, man.
Man.
I went hard in the paint, man.
Yeah.
I went hard in the paint, man. Dude, it cost me my job, my marriage eventually.
Wow.
Because my ex-wife, she married a guy who was going to be a therapist. I was in school to be a therapist. I was finishing up. But she married a guy who was going to work his 9 to 5, be a therapist. I was already working on my own practice with Leo, privately on the side too. So that's who she married.
Right. And then a different person was...
Then all of a sudden, I was like, well, one, the field ain't what I thought it was. The field is not what I thought it was. And when I got into it, I'm going, this is not what I hope. This is really, I was screaming. It was terrible way before, I was on Rogan, man. I'm like, this is bad.
But you couldn't find a way to change it, obviously. So other than getting the word out.
Doing the best I can.
Yeah.
And she saw it as I sabotaged my own life, knowing that what would happen. And I frankly said, no, somebody had to say something. And that's how I saw it. And I said something. Then shortly after that, Rogan started having, then Dr. Rhonda Patrick comes on, right? And it was not too long after me. She's talking about depression, no real test for depression, the dangers of antidepressants, right? Similar stuff. And I'm going, fuck yeah. Who's next? Bring somebody. Dr. Carl Hart comes on. I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it, man. And there were, like I said, there were other people before me saying it, but nobody ever had the platform like Rogan to start out there. And then I started seeing it more and more and more. And then opiate epidemic, boom, 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 boom. I mean, people from my hometown are still dying today in Ocoee, Florida, on the edges of Pine Hills. Because of an opiate epidemic. Now, I don't want to call it an opiate epidemic anymore either, because there are people that need those drugs that can't get them now. That it really helps them.
Because it's an epidemic.
That's right. And because it's been shaped as this epidemic, you know, Dr. Carl Hart would speak the opposite of it, that it's not an epidemic, right? That people need the drugs, or if they're using them responsibly, who gives a fuck?
Good for them.
Right. But that 15%, that 20% that aren't using them responsibly, they are dying. And what fucking answer do we have for them?
Right.
More pills from this side?
Yeah.
So I'm pointing out, so when it started, I started going, what about the other 85% that don't need AA or NA, right? That are fucking experiencing serious addiction.
Right.
And then by the end, I'm talking about, well, what about these 15% that are dying?
Yeah.
And so they're still just getting pill after pill after pill in and out of rehab, losing moms and dads and sons, right? This is happening. It's happening in small towns, white and black, all across this country still today. Friends I know were dying, you know, in Ocoee, right? So for me, that's why I spoke out against that shit. And then I see it more and more. So as much as I don't want to call it an opiate epidemic, because there's issues with that. There's issues with saying that this drug use is bad, because there are great pharmaceutical drugs that save lives, right? It's trying to walk that line by also pointing out the line that, yeah, there's over-prescribing. Right. Fuck yeah, there's over-prescribing. Right. Hardcore. And everybody's like, guy had a white coat on. Probably knows what he's doing. You know? You see, I still get passionate about this shit.
Dude, I can feel it, man.
Yeah.
You know, my grandfather was a doctor. Yeah. And the one thing he used to teach me from a young age, he used to say, don't trust doctors. That's been built into me for a long time, man. And I'm not that all doctors are bad. That's not what I'm saying.
Sure.
But there are some that are out that you want to think the guy in the white coat has the right answer, but that might not be the case. You know, and I think that would be a hard realization for some people, that this guy that you've seen for 15 minutes total in your life thinks he has all the answers, but he's got 25 other people waiting behind you that he's got to do the same thing for. And he's trying to get paid and feed his family and, you know, grow his career and stuff like that. I wanted to ask you, you know, you mentioned your wife and she thought you were self-sabotaging, you know, but if you didn't speak out, the regret of holding that in for forever probably would have been worse, man.
I wouldn't have been able to do it. And that was the difference between how she saw it and what I saw it. And that ended that was it. After that, I'm like, you saw it as that. I saw it as something that needed to be done.
Yeah, and I can't hold it inside for forever, man.
And then I kept going to war. I was like, well, they're not going to let me be a therapist right now.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do?
Yeah.
So I'm putting out the first book right now. I mean, I put out the first book. That was July 2015, April 16, boom, put the first book out. Second book, April 2017, put that book out. I was on 200-something episodes of the podcast before I knew it. Wow. You know, talking about the same stuff, doing live videos, you know, selling T-shirts, giving speeches. Hell, I was talking to 2,000 kids at once at Timber Creek High School, right? Wow. So I'm speaking along the way, doing all that while my marriage was falling apart at the same time. Damn. There's nothing I could do about it, you know? Nothing I could do.
And that was sabotage, huh?
Guess so, right?
Tough. Well, I mean, she's her own person. She's got her own perspectives, you know? And
that's right.
Yeah. Heavy, man.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
I mean, she had her reasons, though, man, because what she married, I wasn't anymore.
Right.
Right? I had made an abrupt change real quick from therapist guy, 9 to 5, and the thing to this guy.
That's a humble way to look at it, you know, that you weren't the person that she signed up for.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was for a little while.
Yeah, you tried.
I tried. And then I wasn't, man. Yeah. So when people are like, man, you're on Rogan, that's awesome.
Damn.
I go, yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. But yeah, I left that behind though, man. I stopped doing therapy, man, and I started a digital marketing company. That's the Residuals.
The Residuals, I saw that.
We just did some digital marketing for a while, and I jumped into comedy, man.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta do something different as an outlet, and been doing that for almost 5 years, I guess, about 3 years, 4 years, something like that.
That's something that listening to Rogan, you know, hearing comedy and comics, and man, it seems like a lot of comics, they don't have a lot of ego, and a lot of what they speak is some truth that people actually think. You know, I think there's a lot of that out there. Yeah, you're trying to be funny, and you know, obviously but there's some truth behind, I think, some of this stuff that people are trying to be funny about. But
it's the hardest fucking thing I ever had to do.
I was gonna ask you. I always like talking in front of people. I had to give big speeches and stuff. They used to fly me all around the country to give these speeches, and And I always love that, man, because people hate talking in front of people. And I'm like, no, I like this.
Natural.
I kind of like that stuff. But comedy's got to be a different animal, man.
It's fucking hard, man.
Is it?
I'm going to sound like an arrogant dick, but I'm decently good at whatever I try. Other than singing and probably relationships. Other than those two things, right?
Okay.
Other than those two things, right? I'm probably pretty good at it.
If you put the time into it, you get decent at it.
I guess, it's just fucking hard. I don't think there's a method to it. I don't think there's a, I never give an up and coming or a starter comic. I'm still up and coming. A starter comic advice, right? It's whatever's funny to somebody. You find your own way. I mean, I still bomb like a motherfucker.
Yeah. That's got to be a gut wrenching feeling, man.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like digging holes, right? Like I went and dug holes, right? It's a humbling, right? You're not that good at everything. See, you know what I mean? You're suck at this. You need better work at this. I love it. It's challenging. I actually opened a comedy club.
Really?
It was called the Mellow Monkey. We were in downtown Sanford Historic District for about a year and a half. COVID shut us down.
Ooh.
By April, May, we were done.
Because you couldn't open up, or nobody was coming, probably, too.
Couldn't. Yeah, we were one of those old throwback New York comedy clubs where it was really intimate. We could fit 100, 120 people in there, but it was intimate, small, 1 foot stage, just intimate as heck. I was trying to model the Comedy Store because I was creating a second room in the back.
Oh, okay.
The way they did their shows.
The belly room or whatever they call it? Okay,
the belly room. I was trying to create different rooms. That was kind of the vision of the place. Okay. Because there's extra rooms we hadn't used yet. And I was heading that way, and it was going great, dude. It was killer. I mean, it's now I call it Mad Caps Comedy, because I switched it from the club, and now we just do shows all over. I still host shows all over the place. And so if people want to see the pictures of it, it's Mad Caps Comedy Club on Instagram or whatever. The pictures were fucking cool. The local comics were killing it and rocking it. We were sold out every Friday and Saturday. It was a blast, man. And COVID killed us. I had some partner issues too, but... I was taking back over. I got rid of the two partners in February, and the landlord was like, "Yeah, let's do it." I know who did this. And the other guys were douches, and we're right there, man. But I'll probably open again. Maybe not there. I'll open another.
You still
spot.
Doing sets at other places? Or?
Yeah, I do. Where I live now here in New Smyrna Beach, every first Saturday or second Saturday of the month, depending on the date, we do Mad Caps Comedy Show. I got a show this Saturday.
Oh, really?
Spring Hill Suites Marriott. It's I'm hosting. I tend to host most of the shows. Nice. Carmen Vallone from NBC's Last Comic Standing is on it. Jari Wright, who's a killer. He's opened up for some music groups like 112 and Monica and stuff. And another guy who's he's a killer too. His name's AJ Wilkerson. He won the 2020 Portland Comedy Festival, and he's the feature for Jay Muse from Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jay Muse is on tour. He's his feature.
Killers coming by.
Dude, those three are killers. And then Jessie Thompson is a local girl around here I ran into. She's the author of Calm Your Baby Tits.
Okay. Calm Your Baby Tits?
Yeah. Okay. She's just starting out, but I did a private show for her little crew that she was doing over there and met her. And so she's on the show myself. That show's a killer. I'm actually, this Friday, I'm on Bonkers. I have a Bonkers show at Margaritaville in Kissimmee. Nice. It's me, my buddy Matt Perez, and one of the funniest guys in Central Florida. I love him. His name's Alex Yu. He's been on Netflix and stuff. Both of those guys like brothers to me. Wow. And so I got the Bonkers show this Friday, then my show on Saturday, and then I'm on tour in March with one of the best two to ever do it out of Duval and Jacksonville is Marcus Crespo. Okay. We got a 4-day, call it a tour. I don't know, it's a 4-day tour through Ocala, Lakeland, Winter Garden, Lake Mary area. I'll be in those 4 areas.
Is that like your main thing now that gets the majority of your time?
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, it's the comedy stuff. I even backed off on podcasting, man.
Really?
Like I don't know. It's rough to sit down. I still do a live video once in a while on Facebook and then turn that into a podcast where I'm just kind of hooting and hollering and saying whatever it is I'm saying. Yeah. But I'm sort of stepping away from that introspection and more or less now I'm trying to find the funny in everything I can.
Okay.
And screw up jokes and write bad jokes and bomb for a while,
It sounds scary, but also sounds awesome, man. I think you mentioned it being humbling and obviously learning some things or two about yourself, during that process, I'm sure.
What you think is funny.
Yeah. It's I think because of Rogan also, it calls to me. You hear these guys that are like, that dedicate how much time they put into writing, and I'm sure you're one of those guys, man, writing and prepping and being
I don't do near what I should do.
Yeah, okay.
I should always be doing more.
Really?
But yeah, like you said, a new respect for the art form when I'm trying to do it. Holy shit.
Oh.
You know, so when you watch Legends, you know, and you're going and like, you know, Bill Burr is one of my favorite that's out, you know, and he just seamlessly and easily just crushes for an hour, you know what I mean? You're like, I'm never going to be that. You know what I mean? Like, how the fuck? How does he fucking do that? You know what I mean? And people and murderers that people may not know about, you know, that just crush. And you're like, man, they've been in it 10 years. Like Alex Yu's been in it 18 years.
Wow.
You know, he was on a world tour with Pablo Francisco back in the day. But these guys and girls that crush and work their art form or do so good, man. I stand back in awe, man. I stand back in awe like that. What the fuck?
Just to get to observe people that have put that much time into that art form, man, you gotta pick some things off from them too, I'm sure, having a circle like that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we help and try to punch up each other's stuff sometimes and write. Some people don't do that. We do that sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a way of life for sure.
Oh, it's its own way of life, huh?
Yeah, you're not getting rich when you're starting this thing, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's why I'm hosting my own shows. I still keep the digital marketing company going.
Yeah.
Even though I don't want to be in that space anymore. But I use those tactics I learned, right, to push the shows that I do. So we're usually doing 2 to 6 shows a month, depends on how many.
Okay.
Kind of waiting on clubs, the idea of the club to open back up.
Right.
And
to audiences to come to those clubs. You know, I'm sure there's still some. Doesn't seem like it in Florida more and more though. It seems like
not
people
out here in New Smyrna, man.
Yeah, beachside communities for
don't
sure.
Give a shit.
They don't give a shit, man. They ain't wearing masks in grocery stores. They ain't doing none of that, man.
I can hear somebody going, "And you got COVID, didn't you, Adam?"
No,
right?
Yeah,
I fucking did.
Yes,
That's
I
right.
Did, yes.
Yeah,
I'm immune now. 3 months, maybe 6.
Yeah, they don't. So I'm waiting. I'm laying back, man. You know, because I know 2021 is going to be all about the vaccine and trying to get it to everybody. 2022 will be about trying to get another vaccine possibly out. People starting to sort of feel comfortable to maybe come back out. So for me, I'm going like, you know, clubs are still closing all over the fucking place right now. I'd say the earliest is 2022. We reopen. This time it'd be Madcaps comedy clubs, and I want to open up multiple. I was looking at my second and third locations of Mellow Monkey already before we shut down. And so I got a good business model, I think, that works. We're following some patterns of some other ones too. But I think 2022, I'll start looking again to start taking that Madcaps name all over the place.
Awesome. That's finding a passion like that. Did that help you move on with some things? I mean,
yeah. I just wish I was better at it. You know, because that passion you do, like fishing, right, or football when I played, right, or the passion that I found for psychology. You know, I was pretty good at that. Off rip. Not so much this. Not so much this shit, man.
Me personally, I need something to try to get good at.
What's your thing?
Fishing, man.
Yeah.
It's fishing. It's harder than people think, especially trying to catch bigger ones. But that's my thing, trying to get better at that. I've been surfing my whole life, man. Not that I'm
it's hard as
a
fuck,
pro
though.
or anything, but, you know, I put 28 years into it. I'm 33. I think I was 5 or 6, somewhere around there.
I mean, you can get down, though.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, and I've surfed every hurricane, everything. My son is 8, and he shreds.
He's killing.
He's been surfing since he was like 3, maybe. Both of my kids started swimming at 2. That was important to me. And then my daughter, she's been surfing since she was 3 also.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
What's
man.
that like out there surfing with him, dude? That's got to be so cool.
So I was talking to my son. I was coming up to New Smyrna Beach. He's like, "You going to the inlet?" I'm like, "No, I said, I'm not going to surf. I'm going to film a podcast." He's like, "Oh, cool." And we were talking this morning about the story. The only time him and I surfed the inlet together, he was probably 5. And I pushed him into right on the south side of the inlet, man. I pushed him into a wave because he was still getting pushed in at that point. And he goes up, takes off, and I'll be damned, a 6-foot shark comes in between the two of us.
Holy fuck!
Yeah, I mean, we see them out there.
Yeah, they're out there.
You know, if you live in Florida, you know sharks are part of the game, right?
Yeah.
I got buddies that got bit. A couple friends of mine got bit and stuff. That was the scariest I've ever been. Was a shark in between us. If we're next to each other, I feel like I can get him out, control the situation. But he jumped off literally as it was coming through, man.
Oh, fuck.
Since then, we haven't surfed New Smyrna together. So
yeah.
he thought I was up here surfing without him.
Holy
but we hit
shit.
every inlet, man. We surf probably, you know, if I'm not in the ocean at least once every. If I go 2 weeks without being in the ocean, my body feels weird.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm weird like that with the ocean, man. I think.
It's the knowledge shit that starts fucking with me, right? Because I love being in the salt water. That's where I love to be. Yeah. Well, the sodium response in your body's response to the sodium is like a better Epsom salt bath.
An Epsom salt bath. Yeah.
So it feels good, right?
Yeah.
I learned why we actually like to watch sunsets and sunrises.
Why?
See, it starts to fuck shit up, right? So a sunrise and a sunset are the only time that the color spectrum is equal. And your eyes relax. You're not trying to. It's not trying to shade the purple and bring out the blue, right? Your eyes relax. So at a sunrise and a sunset, the color spectrum in your eyes relax, which is why we look at sunsets.
I think I like sunsets. Not a lot of people catch sunsets, especially certain times of year, like a legit one where it's dark and then it's coming up. But something that it humbles me even more, man. You're looking at sunsets and stars and stuff like that, and just being outside. It's like. And just being around animals just makes you think you are makes you realize that shit, you're just another animal on this planet. You just think you're smarter than everybody else.
Just a speck.
You know? Just a speck, man.
Yeah. You said that about what your psilocybin treatment, and that was, I have a picture on my Instagram that it's just coming down from the Joshua tree. It was the sun setting. And it was in the desert. I parked the car kind of on the side, and I just kind of ran out into like this field. And I looked up; it was beautiful, and it had sort of sprinkled rain, which is rare at the desert. So I had this purplish pink color.
Nice.
Right? And I just remember looking up, and I'm like, I am so important, but so very unimportant.
Oh, at the
you know what I mean?
time.
The same time.
Wow.
You know, I mean nothing in this, but yet everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, this has been awesome. You've been real generous with your time. I know you got a lot of things going on, man, but this has been great meeting you and, sitting down and having this conversation. So I get some people that watch, but where can people find you? What would you want them to check out?
Let's see. Right now I just started my comedian Adam Lowery Instagram page.
Okay.
So I'm trying to build that up a little bit, but the Cognitive Rampage, or just Google my name, Adam Lowery, or adamlowery.com. You can find all the shit there. That'll lead you to wherever else you got to find my books on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, Cognitive Rampage. You'll find it there. And if you're in town, New Smyrna, Orlando, come see me Friday at Margaritaville Resort in Kissimmee, or Saturday out at Spring Hill Suites Marriott, New Smyrna Beach.
Sweet, man. I'd like to check one of those shows out if I could. I'll
more than
connect
welcome
with you, man, and come out and see you.
Yeah, you're more than welcome.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, anytime. Just let me know whichever show you want to come to.
Sounds good, man.
I'll hook it up, brother.
Yeah. Thanks for doing this, man.
Yeah, brother, of course, man.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Sweet. Yeah, not bad, right? Piece of cake. What did we do? 2:30. Shit.
We were killing it, man.